from a wife. So that's how a lot of people looking at it. They kind of putting themselves in those shoes.
Okay, that makes sense. I can't argue with that, but I was like, I didn't get it because I'm like, what difference does it make? You know. But yeah, they didn't take her side, and I was just shocked because usually women stick together, boy. They can't wait to kumbaya together. They like against her, all of them. Why they did not one
The thing
person?
about it is we don't no we don't ride with you if you wrong. Ain't no kumbaya. And see, that's where men feel to hold other men accountable because men are see their partner doing some shit that ain't that's out of whack, out of style, out of everything, and they won't check their boy and on no level.
No, 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 no,
But
that's a lie. That's a lie.
women check each other.
That's a lie. That's a lie right there. That's a lie.
Okay.
Dang.
Now you have when you have a grown man and they will check their friend. You know what they will.
The difference is we check them, but we don't. We ain't finna beat them up over. We like, well, we hope you know what you're doing.
And y'all lie
Our
for
last
them.
words be, we hope you know what you're doing, because we
No,
And
not
you
in
lie
that
for
fight.
nobody.
them.
Nope,
We not
nope.
in that.
Don't
Right.
lie for nobody. You better have
Mm.
your own lives together.
Yeah,
You ain't
because
gonna
I
be
can't
caught
do
up
no
in that.
lies.
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
put me in none of that. Because if you didn't call me and let me know in advance, don't put me in. I probably not, I don't answer my phone no way, so they know not to put me in there.
Mhm. Okay.
So yeah,
I digress.
you what?
I digress.
So yeah, I was just shocked that the women didn't, come together and bash him for being with number one, a Caucasian, allegedly a Caucasian pregnant woman. And then,
You
the
know,
blog had a picture of him with the woman. And my thing is, he's been walking behind her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna stay saying allegedly, but the rumor has it that she's trying to file for divorce, and I don't believe that because women filing for divorce just because a man cheated, I don't get that.
for some women, that's their deal breaker.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
is.
They
yeah,
can't. They can't get over it. And
So what
that's
is?
one of
I
mine.
would rather you
Yeah,
divorce
that's. I mean,
me
that's mine
than
too.
to be
But
constantly holding it over my head that you took me back and all that, and always bringing it up. No, let me, John, go on, slice it up. We cut ties, cause if you
th-
can't get over it, see, some
this
people
Right.
other
can get
lady
over
said,
it.
even what his name, Corey Holcomb. He was like, why leave a man because he cheated? You gonna get with somebody else, another man. He gonna cheat it. He gonna cheat, and it's a stranger compared to somebody you've been with 4 5 years. At least you know them.
Okay.
But that's the thing. But
So
it's the thing
That's
though. You've been with them 4 5 years and they cheated. It's gonna hit different than somebody you don't know.
I get
and
I
you.
that's and
heard,
that's
Yeah,
not
I
that's
and
heard.
that's not necessarily true either, because as you know, people change for who they want to change for. So even if you were a serial cheater, that doesn't mean that you're going to continue to
No,
cheat once
cheated
you
in
find
yeah.
another
We had that
relationship.
talk
another
Right.
before
person.
too.
That's true.
Once a cheater, always a cheater, and we all agreed that that wasn't true. Because, like you say, people change for
Yeah.
who they
Right.
want. Like we have certain deal breakers, but if that right person, besides the cheating, if the right person come along, some of your deal breakers can be mild a little bit. Um, we have
Yeah,
Anthony.
don't be like Eddie Murphy talking about I don't like her feet and her toes and all that.
Now that
God
used to
done
be
it. If you got
awesome.
ugly feet and toes, you
That
just
used
got
to
ugly
be
feet and toes.
awesome. That
You
was
said what,
awesome.
Austin?
That was him. He was the feet was messed up. He had little small deal breakers, and I'm like, dude,
You
make it
I
well
like it,
stop.
huh?
I just now started touching feet and with my current wife. Other than that, I wasn't touching nobody's feet.
Yeah, you had little minor, minute deal breakers though, and I was like, no.
That's because I ain't really
Big
like
ones is like cheating and stuff like that. I touched on, but she
Betraying
didn't
my
make X
trust.
amount of dollars. She
You
didn't
not
have X.
loyal. you spending the rent money and we getting foreclosed on. Those are deal breakers.
Right,
Well,
right.
you should have visuals on that anyway.
You can
You
have
said
what?
what?
You should be able to have eyes on that anyway, on
What
where
you
the money is
mean?
going, and you should be knowing where your money is going and
If
how it's being spent.
just like with Black, he said he run the money in his house. If my husband is running the money of the house, yeah, I got eyes, but I ain't got eyes. You know what
Hey,
I'm
Right,
saying?
you better trust but
right.
verify.
No, I mean you have to trust the leader, and if he's a good leader, you have no
If
no
I
no
gotta
doubt.
verify him, I ain't got. He don't need to
Yeah,
be doing
that
it.
means you
Yeah,
don't trust
Yeah,
your
exactly.
leader.
I might
Like
as
the
well
guy
do
said,
it.
You shouldn't be
I
with him.
might as well do
Exactly.
it
That's the point.
myself.
Nope,
I
you
might
mhm.
as
shouldn't
well
be
do
with
it
him.
myself.
Nope, you shouldn't be with him because if you can't trust them to
Yeah.
do what they're supposed to do
Now,
and
now y'all know
behind your
that's what
back,
the guy said in the video last week. He said, "Because if you can't trust the leader, why even having them?" So, yeah. So yeah, you can't be sitting back wondering where the money is. That means you don't trust. Just like when I throw my events, I get real skeptical of the people who say, "No, we're gonna make sure I'm gonna have my girl sitting here. My cousin gonna sit here, so we want to make sure the money come out right." That means you done robbed somebody before. Because you
Hmm.
thinking on those lines instead of just letting the women do what they do or whoever sit at the door do what they do. And I'm gonna have mine there too, make sure the money right. I'm like, yeah, nigga, you done some slimy shit before in your life.
Yeah, because you thinking I'm gonna do that
Mm-hmm.
because you done did
Exactly.
that.
That's it. That is it. So we got Anthony on the line. What's up, Anthony? How has it been?
It's been good. It's been good. How everybody doing? Happy Wednesday.
What's
man, what's
up?
going on? We see you still sitting sideways.
Sitting
Hey,
sideways, browsing the
Right.
day, shit sideways. It's all good though. Shit.
It's a Texas thing.
yeah.
And that I could believe. All right. We got a couple of mixed feelings on tonight's topic, but majority going towards um, not implementing the corporal punishment, getting paddling punishment.
Right.
And me personally, I got, I got a different thought about the whole thing because I like thinking outside the box. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Right.
I was
But
telling a friend of mine about this topic, and I said, with that paddling or those licks that we used to have to get, there was a certain fear of that we
Right.
had. So we didn't do shit to get a
there
paddling,
you go.
because
I wait for you
because
to
of that.
say that. I'm so sick of you and Anthony throwing my mindset off on what I think y'all gonna say. So I'm about to just retire that and just go in here freestyle because
See, you
I'm
need
like,
to
she
stop
gonna say
judging a
this, she
book
gonna
Because
by
say
it.
that, then I'm
I'm
gonna come
pro
with this. That's how I be doing with y'all. I say then I'm gonna say this, and she gonna say that, and then when y'all mess me up, I just be sitting here quiet. If y'all
because
notice when Anthony started,
I'm pro paddle as well.
what?
Because I grew up in private school, so we got paddles. I went to private school.
Let's keep that
Man,
ruler for
I
your
gotta
mother.
redo my whole,
Lobby is
I
Married
gotta redo
Christian
my whole script
Academy.
for the night.
May that building rest in peace. They just demolished the building. It's the first black owned school in Dallas, Texas, off Ann Arbor in Oak Cliff.
And
We
y'all let them tear it down.
Yeah, they tore it
Hey,
down.
what's that
Deion
club
Sanders have
in Oak
bought
Cliff?
it.
It the most popular club in Oak Cliff.
Cliff Club.
That's probably what it's called now. But yeah, I DJ'd there before. It was back when like I said, Mr. Hit That Hole and all them was out. And Ricky Bobby and all that. I was in that club with them. Um what's shit, I can't think of it. But yeah, okay. But yeah, Oak Cliff. Man, look. I was on Plano side and had to drive all the way to Oak Cliff.
But yeah, I went to a private school, so private schools can still paddle. I believe to this day. I think
Right.
Yeah,
they
They
I
still
can.
mean,
paddles.
it's still in effect. Um, but a lot of them don't. But it's not illegal to do
Well,
it.
for one, the temperament of a lot of these children nowadays, the first thing they're gonna do is swing at the teacher.
Yep.
This,
And
I mean,
Austin and
See,
I,
that's what I'm saying. We had that feeling, man. A teacher, man. You be like, man, I spring on that bitch, but you ain't never tried to spring on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do that. You made her thought it, but you didn't do it
But
because you knew
some
what
I
the
can't
teachers,
believe
some
y'all
consequence.
teachers
saying this
You knew
now,
though.
what the
I don't know
consequence
about
was.
some
You
teachers,
knew
but
what the consequence was.
exactly, yeah.
Both of
Some
y'all have
teachers probably
kids
good from the
and you're
shoulders.
women. So I didn't expect y'all to say this tonight. So I had a whole speech. Y'all done messed my whole damn. Yeah, they done messed my head up, dog. Dang. I
No,
gotta
you
redo
can't
my
tell us the
script.
book bags cover now, black.
Now you
Yeah,
can't.
that's
Now
messed up.
you might can still have your speech, because don't you touch my damn baby. You could probably still. You probably got a good speech going. Don't touch my
Okay.
damn baby.
What you
Now
feel
you can
about it,
touch mine,
George?
but I want to know why you touching mine. I want to be informed. That's the one thing
Yeah.
about corporal
Yeah,
punishment I didn't like. If you gonna, if I had to whoop your child's ass, I need to let you know. I had
yeah.
to whoop his ass today, and so
Well,
when he get home, you can whoop his ass.
I tell
So
you
come
like this.
tomorrow, we
And
need a
what?
different motherfucker up in here.
Okay. And when
Well,
and when I got paddled in school, my mother personally and also had me tell, if I had a male teacher, you had to send me to the female principal to give me a paddle. Men were not allowed
Right,
to paddle me.
right, and that should be true too. Men can't do girls.
hmm, well, I tell you like this. I was the class clown, and in the third grade, Miss Cotton sent me to Mr. Johnson to get paddled. He hit me with that paddle, and I never went back. Cause I told that goddamn office up. He said don't never send him back in here to get no whooping. I told his goddamn office up.
What you
They told
mean?
I
Explain, like you
I
started trying to
went
fight the
crazy
man?
as hell in that office. You don't hit me with no paddle.
And you know what? And I was thinking about that too, before I came on. Uh I think it was Austin and I, because it was either Austin and I, Rufus, or Renard. But I know all of us were together. We got in trouble in the parking lot in the high parking lot. Um, they gave us a choice. Either you get 3 days suspension or you get 3 licks from the paddle. I think it was you, Austin, who refused to get the paddling, and he called his mom and he went home and did the 3 day suspension. I went on and got the paddling because I didn't want, my folks was too strict. I had to stay on principal's list. I couldn't even make a 220. So I went on and took the paddling because I ain't want mine to know I had drama. But I think when that you, Austin, who turned it down, it was with Caldwell.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
either you or Rufus, and you was like, he
No,
ain't
it
finna hit
was
me.
yeah, yeah. I think it was me and Rufus.
It
I
was
wasn't.
you.
I
And
wasn't.
you
I
called
wasn't
your
taking
mama
no
on the
whipping.
phone, and you was
No,
like,
that's what
he
I'm
think he
saying.
finna hit me
I think it
with
was
this
me and
paddle. I'm
Rufus
not
that
taking
that
no
at the time
paddling.
that.
And your mom told you to come home.
Yep, and I still didn't get suspended.
Yeah, because she came up there and raised hell. I remember that.
Yeah,
But
because I wasn't taking
Now,
no whipping.
I have an instance like that where it was an instance where I felt like I was gonna get an unfair paddling. So yeah, we're gonna call my parent and we're gonna figure this out. That's the part about it that I didn't like. You didn't
Right,
involve the parent in that process.
right.
And
right, right.
so, it is left up to this one sole person's discretion. No, we a village. We're gonna raise this child as a village. So ain't no one hand, right hand gonna do what the left hand don't know it. Ain't that's just
Now,
not
now,
how
now
it
that,
works.
that's what I was gonna say tonight. My view on that is grade school, especially I'm gonna say what, third, fourth grade. I think you sit in the office, they call the parent, and the parent choose whether I'm gonna come get him or go ahead and get a paddling. But I also feels like that parent's decision should be based upon how their child actually is. You can't be in denial. If you know you got a badass, manipulative child, and you know what your child is capable of, hey, go ahead and,
The
and,
thing
and,
about
and
it is,
paddle them.
we
But what's
know.
happening is a lot of
Experience, we
parents
know.
not holding
We
their
know when
kids
that little
accountable.
motherfucker done growed up manipulative, he done learned it from us. We know.
Right, exactly.
Hey, but what does it actually solve? We say it's a deterrent,
It's
but
not. It's
what
not.
what does it actually
But right
cause?
now, you
Because
go
What
to
after a
the
does what
principal
while,
now?
office, going to the principal's office being a juice box and a toy.
So what I'm saying is, has paddling actually proved to be a true deterrent? Because the electric chair hasn't, going to jail hasn't. So
Yes, it
there's
has.
going to, no,
Yes,
it
it has.
hasn't.
Do
For
you know how
some,
much
do you
crime
know
would
how
actually still
do
be? How
you know
much crime would be going on if we didn't have fear of going to jail?
do you know how that's for some people, but do you
Yeah,
know how
because
many
because
people are locked up right now and how
for a
many people?
second, I have not for a second, but I agree with Austin because at this same school, and don't get me wrong, Low Business Christian Academy it's based off Full Gospel Holy Temple, so it's Kojic, very Baptist, holy rolling black folks who
Kojic is
really.
not Baptist. Don't get those two confused.
I mean, well, my bad, my bad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but it is Kojic. It's not Baptist, and they do believe in whooping kids. Spare the rod, spoil the child is one of their main mottos. It was a young boy, and he probably left school probably around 5th grade, and me and him were probably in the same grade since kindergarten. Every single day, he got a paddle. My mom felt sorry for him. My mom didn't understand. She was like, I don't get it. He get a paddle
But guess what?
every day. He got a paddle every day. He never learned. It
Guess
never
what?
phased him.
Guess what? That's one child you're talking about compared to however many y'all had at that school. And it goes back to, let's just say you got a bully or somebody that can whoop everybody's ass and he been jumping on everybody. People stayed away from it if they didn't want their ass whooped. So also,
Or they
if you
became
run
friends with him and started whooping people's ass too.
with it, right? But you didn't run up there and catch them bees for him. So just like we know, if you play with fire, you get burned. So a lot of us didn't play, didn't play that long with fire. Um, when you get disciplined, any type of discipline, even getting fired at work, you might want to go over there and spank a woman on the ass or tell a woman, "Damn, you beautiful." But if you say that shit, you're gonna get fired. So you don't say that shit. So I feel like discipline, having some type of discipline or disciplinary actions can calm down. Like
I
now
didn't
you
say
got guys.
no type of discipline. I'm talking about corporal punishment.
It, it,
It's not a
what did we
true
open up the
deterrent.
show with? Both of those ladies, they didn't want to get paddling, so it creates some type of discipline because you didn't want to go there. Just like in the classroom, we'll just say, even if we remove the paddling. And I was saying this, I had a teacher who had a dunce corner where you put on a dunce hat, you was in the back of class away from everybody, but you still did your work. But you had to put on this dunce hat. You was known as the clown. And when anybody walk into class to borrow something or talk to her, they see that you in the back, then acted up. It created a shameness. So when you came back the next day, you act better. Now you taking papers down to get them ran off from the office, So having some form of disability and the corporal punishment, I think it works better from grade school to maybe 6th grade, borderline 7th. And after that, I feel like it should be a choice. Either you take a paddling or you get suspended. But it's not going to work if you're trying to do that to a 13, 14-year-old. They're already set in their mind. And if their parents not discipline them, they go to school, they're not going to be disciplined. But I feel like a lot of the board helped, getting paddling helped, because a lot of us wanted to do a lot of things, but we didn't want to go to the office.
But I also think there's a certain limit to take things. Like, for instance, and since this topic came up, I talked to my mom about it, and I talked to my boyfriend about it. And he was discussing, he's from Louisiana, and he was discussing how he got paddled in elementary, and the teacher, principal, whoever he was who would paddle them, he had holes in his paddle.
Oh yeah. Just like it ain't no rules in street fight. It ain't no rules in getting that ass tapped.
Oh hell no! It just said, like, why do we need holes in it? I'm already getting an ass
For the
whip. How much?
flesh,
How
for the
much
flesh
pain
to
did?
go up through.
Oh Lord! How much pain I need to be inflicted? This is
Ooh,
crazy.
girl. That's too much.
He said the man had a
Hey,
clean
that's
paddle
when
and
we
it
was
had
getting hazed.
holes
That's
in
what
it.
they had.
Pays for what? Sororities? I mean
But,
fraternities?
right.
And they'll whoop y'all?
Yeah.
Baby.
The Alpha line, hell yeah.
And they had holes in the
What
paddle?
what was you getting whooped for? And this is grown
Uh,
man to grown man. Like this a grown
Drama,
man
college,
swing.
college. Most people that pledge are freshmen. But yeah, my brother even
What would be
was
one
getting
reason
hit
you would get
with
paddled?
with a paddle, and they ended up rupturing something in his by his heart, and he had to go in there and get that
Oh
taken
my
care of.
God. Oh
Louisiana ain't
hell.
no joke.
And no, and when I was pledging, I didn't take no paddlings. I would not take those type. I would not, because number one, I'm paying you money, and we're supposed to be a
Oh,
Right.
brotherhood, and I'm not gonna let no other grown man. I'm not
I'm gonna pay
voluntarily
you to
letting no
whoop
other
my
grown man
ass.
whoop my ass. No, thank you.
And I'm
and
gonna
this
pay you to whoop my
and
ass.
this is going all the way back to the third motherfucking grade. Austin been dancing on
I've
me.
been rejected ass whooping since third
Alton
grade.
didn't take Kylie to ass whoopings. Needless to say, he didn't even want his mama whooping his ass. When his mama lit up on him, I think she just did it one time and never again.
I
He was
don't know.
not
I
with
don't know if
that.
I told y'all. I don't know if I told y'all this or not. I think I have in another podcast. My stepdad, he called himself whooping me. I was in the second grade, and I pulled the shotgun on him, and I
And the
never got
gun
another
was bigger
whooping
than
back
him,
again.
y'all.
I never got a whooping again from him.
You're a
A
bad little fucker. You was
shotgun.
a bad little fucker. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, he
I
kept a
wasn't. No,
shotgun.
no.
He knew where to get that shotgun.
I was a great kid. I was a good kid, but I just didn't take no ass whoopings because I didn't feel like I deserved them. Talk to me. I'm intelligent. Talk to me.
Second grade, a shotgun. That is crazy.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I know that man was scared to death. Cause you sneeze,
I mean, I
he
would have
gonna blow
look,
my head off.
look, George. You would have left his man. Him and
I would
his
have
man
left his
would have had to
mama too.
go.
So that's an
I
equal
wouldn't. I
brother.
would.
I
I
would
wouldn't
have
have
left his
gone
mama
in.
too.
Yeah, I would have left.
George said
Yeah.
he ain't been
By
even
that night.
tried.
No, I would. I would have left.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Especially if she didn't go upside his head and put in a headlock and had his body sore.
I don't care if she did.
And of
He's
course
putting a
she
shotgun.
did.
I'm leaving.
Yes,
Her
he
little
put
Hey,
a shotgun
James.
underneath.
don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands
That's
on
her
me.
little James,
Yeah,
so
don't
she
put your
didn't
hands
do it.
on me. So
And at that time, he was the
my
only
mama knew
child.
exactly
So
who I was. My mama
Oh,
But
knew
you was the
I don't.
exactly who I
only
was.
child
She knew
too. Oh
exactly
yeah.
how I was.
I don't
So,
believe in whooping no other man's kid anyway. So
but
So
I don't
Judge,
believe in that.
we would have got
are you
along
yeah,
great.
if
pro-ass
I'm
in
raising
school?
and I'm feeding that motherfucker, I'm gonna tap his ass. And if you got something to say about it, I'll tap your ass too. And I think me and you already had that little talk, George.
I know.
But
I know.
I got no problem with it. But
So
you
you
know.
believe in whooping your stepchildren?
So what?
I said, so you do believe in whooping your stepchildren?
Yeah, I believe in whipping anybody out if they leave them with me to take care of. They fuck up, I'm gonna take care. I'm on their ass. I'm gone.
Right. I ain't
It
with my
depends on what they
stepkids
do.
though.
I ain't quick to do it, but
Right.
if you leave your kid over here for a weekend and they put a hole in my wall when I told them to sit down and they fuck around and put a hole in the wall, even though I can patch it up and fix it myself, I'm gonna beat their ass because they ain't had no.
Right.
And I'm gonna let you know now. If you leave them over here now, I'm gonna treat them just like they. So then you have that choice. Once you say okay, I ain't gonna kill them, but they gonna get spanked where they know not to do it. Pick them up, pop, 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 and sit your ass down somewhere. And if you don't want that, don't leave them around me.
I feel like if I can't discipline your kids, I shouldn't be watching them either.
Me either. That's it.
Right.
And you
Because
have a choice.
I keep kids. I will keep your kids. I will keep all y'all kids, but they gonna respect me and they gonna get out of line. We gonna have a good time.
Yeah, that's me. That now, Pete, what she say? Teacher.
Donald Trump just signed an executive order giving teachers, me, the right and privilege to beat your kid's ass as a disciplinary procedure in the classroom. Because according to him, going all the way back to Obama and Biden, there have been soft disciplinary procedures for teachers in the classroom Tell me you don't know what's going on in the classroom without telling me you don't know what's going on in the classroom. I want to reiterate how parents are the first teachers and how discipline should take place at home. Me as a teacher should not be physically disciplining students in the classroom. That should not be taking place. But behaviors are completely out of control. Not in my classroom. My fourth graders, my 9 and 10-year-olds are in check. But everybody else, batshit crazy. But you're giving teachers permission to physically harm and intimidate children? I think parents might have a problem with that.
And I think you need to discipline them bastards at school before they go to school. Discipline really should start at home, and the
That's
teacher
exactly
shouldn't
where
have
it
to
should
do it.
start. I seen a little girl mace her
believe
teacher.
in grade school, like we getting hit on the back of the hand. Like my brother just said, we get hit on the back of the hand. That got your attention.
Mhm.
That's all you needed.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
had a teacher, Miss Davis. She used to make you ball your fists up, and she get a pencil or whatever, and she clack 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 clack. And we didn't want
Yeah.
that.
But that's all you needed to sit your ass down and focus. But now these kids need medication and all kind of damn near chokeholds
Yeah,
the
the
fuck
kids are
down.
not the same. We raised a lot of soft ass kids, but I think you should know your child, and if you know you got a badass kid, you know what child deserves a paddling and what not. But I still think it needs to be filtered out through the parent. You go to the office, you call the parent, and they say you come get them, or Mr. Johnson gonna do the paddle thing. He give him 3 licks with the paddle with the board. Then you
Right,
decide,
right,
hey, don't hit my child, I'm on my way. Or yeah, because I told him to stop acting up in the class. Go ahead and get in them 3. He gonna learn a lesson. So
right, right,
you
right.
know,
And it done that way, it's involving the parent. It's
yeah,
taking the decision and putting it on, the parent. Where you say discipline starts at home, that is putting the decision on that parent. If you don't want me to hit him, whoop his ass, then you
come
can
get
come
it.
on and get him because he
But
disrupting the other children.
I think where we all are agreeing is because we've been through that. We've all
Hmm.
gotten paddles in
We
school.
came from that
And we
paddling
Austin,
era.
survived.
Austin,
And we did
Austin is
fine.
against, and he was getting paddles in school, but is also saying no, I do not agree. So I definitely feel like it definitely has to start at home because we have parents who used to get paddles who's not going to agree on their child getting paddles.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
just like they
my
try to
thing is,
say, you're gonna have people saying, okay, like now, getting your ass whooped growing up. Now they say, oh, that created trauma, you know. But when you know you was wrong and mama whooped that ass or daddy whooped that ass, you knew you was wrong. That was a form
But
of discipline.
but if mama and daddy didn't follow that whooping up with a talk, you didn't understand why you got to whoop.
Oh no, no,
See,
no.
that's the difference.
Let me tell
Now
you, no, no,
people
no.
just
This
thinking they're
is
taking their
Anytime you get
this
told
frustration
is
you
out
when
on
you
wrong, you
know
people.
you're
getting your
wrong.
ass
This
whooped.
is you sneaking out the house. I used to put the pillows up and do the shit I saw on television and sneak out the house and get caught. Or they say don't leave the street, and I'll go across town, and then dad'll see me across town when I'm supposed to been right up the road or in the backyard. This is when
Yeah.
you know you wrong and you got caught. Your hand in the cookie jar and you got caught. This ain't what I'm getting whooping for. I ain't do nothing. What I get whooping for? It ain't that. You knew that I'm gonna go ahead and get in trouble.
Yeah,
It's
it's
this
worth
girl
it.
I
I'm gonna
want to see,
take it.
so
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
take
ride
my
my bike
chance
across
tonight.
town. If I get caught, I just get caught. But she said her mama gone. I'm finna go on over here now and get there. I got caught. So I knew why I was getting my ass whooped.
and then again, there are different punishments that work for different kids. Paddling may not work for every child. Corporal
Right.
punishment may
And if
not
it's
work for
Just
every
happening,
like
child.
spankings don't work for every child, but
right.
spare the rod for the child is a thing.
Spare the rod means giving guidance.
Guidance, right?
Yes,
And
I think
sometimes
some people take biblical
sometimes
terms and
you
put it in
have
their own thing.
to spank them.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we can say it's not for everybody. Just like going to work, coming in late, getting what pink slips, and then you go home. Each organization gonna have a set of rules, a set of guidelines. You know what I'm saying? Things you have to follow. So chain of command. So you have to have some type of rules in place in any organization, or it's just gonna run haywire. People do what they want. Kids, it run haywire. So you have to have something. So yeah, the paddling may not work on the guy who kept going to the office, but guess what? It worked on little Johnny over there because he's sitting his ass. He cried, Johnny telling his mama what he seen at school that happened with little Fred over there. So you ain't got to
Yeah,
worry
it
about
only took us one time for the rest of the class. Now you may
right.
have 4 or 5 that it ain't gonna work on, but
Yeah, but then you got 20 in
the
the
other
class. So
29,
just like
it'll
people
work
say,
on.
if we can reach just one person, they say, when they trying to save the youth, and then only 3 people show up. But if I can just save one person, I did my job. So you're whooping at one person from the class, and you save what 15 people out of 20. Mission accomplished. So you have to have some type. You don't go to
So
work acting a
question,
fool.
if we're whooping
And
kids at
hit
element,
home with Anthony. You say she working home. Okay, she is not gonna not do her job and go outside and talk to her friend for 20 minutes because she knows if she get back, she's bound to get fired. So you have to have some type of rules. Now that may not work for Juana over there, Shoshana. She don't care. You know what I'm saying? But you do. They know if I don't be back on this job where they can see me working or whatever, there's a chance that I get fired. So
Well,
that keeps her
we're not
dedicated to her
talking
job.
about not having rules. That's crazy. We're not talking about that because we would have a lawless society. So you have to have rules. But we're
right?
talking about the type of punishment.
Okay.
That's what we're referring to. The
So
type
what
of
would you
punishment.
replace it
So
with, Austin?
Then I would use a step up method, right? So we would use I hadn't given much thought to this, but
Send them to timeout,
the first step,
maybe. Go to timeout.
nope.
them
So the first,
kids gonna kick
you want,
Mr.
depending
Austin
on how
ass.
old they
Go to
are,
timeout.
however old they are, first of all you have to find out what motivates each individual child. That's number
Right.
one.
Okay.
Right.
So
Time
time out.
and money in to do that. We don't have time.
Well, no, if we're
But
talking
if you
about,
don't
because
have time, then you're still not doing it because you're still not
y'all
doing it
putting
Mm-mm.
it on one
for the
one
child.
The
grade.
deal is
Y'all, if y'all making it about elementary, kids like to play. You won't go to recess.
Yeah, so that's the
You
thing.
won't.
You start with
we talking
with that
about the
type, and
school
then you
system,
also
period.
send
Even
kids,
high school kids.
and then
Well,
you also have alternative schools. You can't be with everybody else. You don't get those type
Then
of
that's
those.
what you do. And even in those schools, she was at a private school and they were paddling over there. So
Again,
I feel
I'm
like
saying an
the reason
alternative style school where you're not with, just like in prison, you don't get to stay with general population. You got to go to
yeah,
isolation.
because in public school, if you fight, you go to alternative school.
Right.
And what was crazy, they made it seem just like a little prison, like how we could wear whatever shoes we wanted in school. We had our uniform, khaki pants, white shirts, blue shirts, whatever. Over there, you only could wear khaki and white, and you could only wear black shoes.
Mm-hmm.
she know don't.
No, I never been. This is how they came back. They came back talking about it like it was a prison. It made you not want to go, and you went for
Mm.
30 days. It made you not want to go to
So,
alternative school.
and so what I'm
When
saying
I
is
was in school, they did
in
that, and
public
they sent
school,
the pregnant girls away to a different
Ooh,
school.
yeah,
in,
I've heard of that before.
in public school is public school for a reason. So they decide on public rules. So in public school, you wear what you want, you do this, you do that, you do that. In Catholic private schools, man, uniform. But when you're in public school, they come up with the discipline plan of the paddle, Whereas teachers that didn't believe in the paddling, they had other methods of disciplining you in their class, whether it's the dunce cap, whether it's get your knuckles, whether it's stand in the corner, which, and then some did the little book thing where you have to squat and hold a book. They tried different methods, but the overall discipline final stage is you go to the office. And that's just been the rule of thumb.
And
Just
when
like
you
in
get
prison.
there
bring
to the
it a
office,
little to
it
bring it a little
ain't no
bit more.
juice box and a Lunchable waiting on you at the office. It's some real consequence.
You in trouble when you go there.
Yeah.
and I used to see people crying because they had to go to the office because they did not want to go to that office. That office was a fearful thing when they see. And back then, you have lady principals now, but back then it was men, and they ready to raise that sleeve up, and they ready to pull that board out and get them 3, and they didn't want that. So a lot of them used to be pleading with the teacher, no, don't take me, no, and she making them go to the office and or make the principal come to the classroom if the kid didn't want to leave. So
Well, it also
it
truly
put fear in
depends
their
on the
heart.
grade level, because we're going from grade level to grade level. So
I'm
if
saying
we're
overall, but
so
I
in
say
high
once they
school,
get to high school and junior high, they should have a choice whether to do suspension or get the paddling. Because,
I
like,
think
if I
junior
take my
high
kid to school now,
should get that
if we
option.
late, I have to go sign him in. But when I drop the daughter off at the high school, she just walked in there and she signed herself in. So I feel like grade school, you go to the paddle can still be the final, but you call the parent, let the parent know. If you don't get in touch with the parent, the kids stay in the office that day. They can't come back to school till they bring up a slip signed by the parent. Better yet, because of the deceiving of signing, the parent has to come back to school the next day and sign you in. And a lot of parents that's working, they ain't quick to do that shit. So they gonna say, go ahead and take that paddling because I ain't got time to be taking off work because you up there fucking. I've heard that. So,
But also, like, when we think about high school, because middle school, I do know we're going into adolescence, puberty, things of that nature. Attitudes are wholly different in middle school. When it's time to get to high school, I do know it's a whole level of mindsets for teachers and students. Because there's some teachers that are assholes. I've seen it firsthand. There are some teachers that are, I won't even use the word picking at kids, but there are some teachers that do have like I dealt with a class last year that was such and such and such, so I know how I'm going to be from now on. And now you're just a mean teacher.
Right. And one thing
You're
too, we
known
got.
through
Oh,
the high school as being the mean lady, the mean
right.
teacher. Oh, you got me such and such neck. Good luck with that shit. Like, you know what I mean? You have now a
yeah.
reputation and a chip on your shoulder from having bad kids in the past, and now every kid finna get it.
And from a civil liberties standpoint, I don't think you'll ever have corporal punishment really back in school because the first time you have a child with disability is spanked and it don't go right, or you have a child with trauma that's spanked and it don't go right, they're gonna go out the window anyway. So, it's just I think a lot of
Well,
times nowadays,
it's certain rules on that as well.
but they not gonna follow the rules. They whatever rules you set up, I'm telling you this, just from my work in politics and behind school boards, they not gonna follow them rules.
Then
Them
that's a
folks gonna be.
lawsuit. But people,
Yeah,
even this
but what
lady
I'm
spoke
saying
on that.
is, what I'm saying,
Deal
what
with
I know
somebody
about the
losing money.
educate, yeah, but what I know about the education system and these niggas running it, just don't have nobody in the school be able to touch your child. Cause if you do, you're gonna have a problem. Don't even do it. Them folks are not
She
responsible
said,
enough to administer that. Them folks are fucked up. Don't have nobody in your school being able to touch your child, whether to whoop them or shake their hand. Just don't do it. This is not to fit this no more.
here we go.
Yeah, the
So
People,
y'all are
mindset is
upset that
changed.
schools might actually hold kids accountable again? If you're doing what you're supposed to do at home, this shouldn't ruffle your feathers. Our current administration just signed an executive order that basically says let teachers teach and let schools discipline without getting sued every 5 minutes. It's called the Executive Order on Restoring Discipline in the Classroom. It aims to roll back Obama-era protections that, while well-intentioned, they made it hard for schools to enforce any consequences, especially when it came to disruptive behavior.
Now, before y'all panic, this does not mean teachers get to backhand your kid with a ruler. Just put this over here. It does mean that schools have more flexibility to suspend or expel students. As far as students with disabilities, if your child has a 504 or an IEP, schools are still required by law to follow those accommodations. Nothing in this executive order overrides federal disability rights. For now. IDEA and 504 still stand.
As you heard her say, for now.
And she beat me
Right.
to it because I was gonna say that in high school, because parents don't want you. Parents gotta work everything else. If you fuck it up, I ain't gotta whoop your ass. You finna go home. And you're not finna go home by bus. Your mama or your daddy gonna have to take off and come get you. It's gonna be mandatory. I bet that shit stop. Cause I'm not finna keep come get up to the school and come get you. I gotta leave work and
Well,
everything else. I'm sure by the time you make it home, the cussing out and the ass whooping you finna get, I
that
bet you
ain't
don't
Right.
get sent home
the
tomorrow.
curse out and the ass whooping. I'm saying the kid just glad to be out of school
You
at
won't
that
enjoy
point.
it, but you won't enjoy it by the time I got clock out and get there.
You scared to whoop your kids because you scared they gonna call 911 and you gonna go to jail.
You
I
have
whoop
to know
Sam's
that
over
you have
here,
to know
and I
that
wish
there's a
they would
power in
call
that
Yeah,
first.
911.
yeah.
I feel like you
Well,
have to know that there's a power in that first. How would you even know that?
and and we kind of know the rules. We have inside knowledge of the rules behind whooping.
Right.
Anthony and I do.
Yeah.
So you know that's not an issue or concern. They can call 911 if they choose to. In fact,
Right.
I think there was a video out where a child called 911 because the mom whooped him, and they was like, "Okay, why are you calling us?"
Right.
They came out to the
Yeah, but you
house.
get that prejudiced cop. He gonna try to find a way to call the protection service or
Yeah,
whatever,
they can
CP something.
they can call CPS all they want to
They
if
want to,
there's
yeah.
yeah, but if there's nothing, there's nothing.
And matter of fact, they can take you.
Right. Exactly. I've been a part of it. I've dealt with CPS.
Yeah, and see how you like staying in foster
In
care
foster care for a couple months. Let you see how
yeah
this shit feel.
or see how they holding you on CWAP and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Let them go
Yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Y'all
Learn.
crazy.
So, hey, I know somebody learned they listen real quick pulling this shit with me.
What y'all do on this one? I think this is hold up.
Aria, can you come here, please? Miss T is on the way. Do you need to take a breather? Is everything okay? You need to talk about anything? You want to talk about something? Come on. But that's not how you talk.
I mean,
Now
what
who in
can
the
you? I
hell gotta
mean,
clean that shit
We
up?
all can't
but
get the
here's the
words
thing.
out
But here, but
fast
they,
enough.
but 2 years, but 2 years, but two
I ain't
years.
finna clean that shit up.
I tell you what. I tell you what though. But 2 years ago, I was a teacher, and they trained
RKO that
you.
motherfucker.
Nah, you can't do none of this shit. You got to let them burn this stuff out.
You
I'm
gonna
She
telling you,
do
ain't
when I
finna
was a
burn
teacher.
herself out tearing my
I'm telling no,
goddamn
I'm
rules
telling you,
up.
when
the
I was a
people's
teacher,
elbow.
when I was a
I'll
teacher,
sit her
and they
down
tell,
and talk to her, but she ain't finna tear that room up because at
You
the end of
can't
the
you
day, I'm
can't
about to tear that
grab
shit up.
her and hug her
I'm
and
Yeah,
telling
just
I
you.
mean,
hug her.
She
y'all
would
don't
be in
even
the
know what.
office waiting on her parent. I would have picked
But
that
when
child
you,
up, took her
but
to the
when you were,
office.
Go ahead, George.
but
George
when
trying
you
to
a
I
teacher,
had to
because
do it.
I was teaching these kids, and I had stuff like that happen all the time. You let them burn this shit out, talk this shit out. You don't touch them. You wait to call the parents. You got to get them calm first, because you don't know what's going on. And
That's what
Yeah,
I was
I
gonna say.
agree.
a lot of the kids out there with their age, you know what was going on with most of them? They
Something
parents
at
were
home.
splitting up. They parents were splitting up. Man, I've seen some real shit. You gotta let
But
them
you gonna
go
go
and
to
tear
the
this shit up.
office.
But you can't. It
Yeah, you
don't
gotta
work
set
like
my
that. You
room
not a
up.
child that age. They didn't. No,
You
it
gonna
don't.
clean all that
Yeah,
up
yeah.
though.
You
You
gonna have
gotta
to
clean
clean. You
all
gonna have to
that
clean
up.
it up.
Yeah.
You just gonna have to clean
She
it
gonna
up. I
go. I'm
cleaned
gonna
it.
take her to the office. They gonna call the parents. I'm done. The minute she
No,
Cause
these
starts
no,
teachers.
my
No,
throwing
no,
my
no,
up,
no.
first
Wait,
Nowadays
my
they
wait.
don't
first
do no office. You got
yeah,
to call the parents. You got a
my
And
phone and
first
walkie
thought
talkie
when
on
I
you.
seen that, my first
Yeah.
thought was definitely a psychological issue because it will
Right.
make you get that
well,
violent.
or
Not
emotional issue.
yeah,
yeah,
Right.
I agree that it
both.
was something
Not crying and
deeply.
falling to the floor. You have decided to chunk. I mean hard. You using
Right.
Yeah,
your
it
might
was
to throw
something
this shit.
definitely
Yeah, it's something
ailing that
going. It's
child.
deeper.
So I would have taken her to the office though and been like, y'all deal with her, call her
But I
parents.
think grabbing
That
her,
ain't.
putting
But
your hands on
I'm
her
telling you
would
the
not have
way.
been a good
But the
idea.
That
way
little old
school.
girl, I think me picked
But
her up, said,
but
come on.
D.
And I
But
straight
D.
jacket her, take her
But
to the
D.
office. She's in my room
Yeah,
No,
cause
tearing
still
everything up.
you got to be careful.
And
I'm gonna tell
and
you.
you would have got a
I'm gonna tell you
lawsuit.
like this. The
Okay.
day.
No, I'm not
If
picking
as
her
a,
up. I ain't gonna get no
How
lawsuit
much you
picking
want to
her up.
no,
bet?
no, no, no.
How
But I'm
much?
telling
No,
you, it's
seriously, you going to jail? They
Whatever
not
you
gonna play
got in the bank.
games.
yeah, but the school's not set up like they used to. Cause like I said, I was teaching about 2 years ago. It's no more take them to the office. They expect you as a teacher. You got a walkie talkie on you in your phone. If something happen, they
And you need
expect
a
you,
witness.
and you
You
need a
grab that baby
witness.
by
Cause you
yourself.
got a teacher's aide. You got a
Well,
teacher's
right
aide.
now
You
they have
supposed to.
cameras in the rooms.
Nah, fuck
No,
all that. This what they tell you to do.
my kid up.
They tell you to clear that room of the other kids. You get a teacher's aide. You come in there. You diffuse the situation before you go to the office. That's how
Cause
they
you need
told me
a
to do it.
witness. You can't just
You
grab
gotta have
that
that
baby
witness.
by
You can't do
yourself.
that by yourself. Ain't no touching the kid. Ain't no
I'm a
going
bear
putting your
hug her
hand
to
on
the
their back.
office. All right, we'll see.
Hey, ain't no going to the office. You the office nowadays. They ain't get you ain't got time to try to get somebody from the office. They gonna tell you got to walkie talkie. I remember having my walkie talkie on me. It's just things have changed, and that's why you can't be whooping these kids nowadays. You got too many variables. It don't. It's just the world has just changed. I didn't really have to whoop my kids coming up. I talked to them. I didn't really have to get whoopings coming up. If you got to keep whooping your kid, you either got to keep with a problem or a kid is just fucking hard headed.
Yep.
That whooping
Or
shit
Or
you
don't
the
work.
one of those
problem.
kids
Or
that'll
you got a
your
problem.
That
enemy.
whooping
Yeah.
shit do
Right.
work.
It don't. I don't know no kid he work with. Not in the past 20, 30 years. Most kids I met I can talk to. If I can't talk to you, you can get the fuck on away from me.
The
But you
reason I
can't
say
do
it
that with
work is
your
you had
own
kids like
kid.
Austin knew he didn't want nobody putting their hands on him, and he said he was a pretty good kid because he
Mm.
didn't want nobody. When somebody touched him, he felt like he didn't do nothing to get touched.
But the thing, the
So that
bad
means
kid,
he knew what it took to
right?
get
No,
touched.
no, no,
But
no.
the but
That meant what that meant was I knew right from wrong, and I chose to
Yeah,
do right all the
that's what I
time.
said. You knew what it
But
took to
not
get
no,
touched, and you felt like you
no
didn't do nothing to get touched, so you didn't
right.
feel like nobody needed to whoop your ass.
yeah.
Exactly,
But
because I knew
also,
right
like
from
he said,
wrong.
he kind of flipped out. He tore that office up. What if that man decided to snatch him? You know what I
He
mean? There's
couldn't
a thin
snatch him.
line.
He couldn't snatch
Exactly.
him, but he
That
could have held him to say, "You're not going to tear my office up."
But how many folks got that restraint for real, man? I've been around kids want to choke shit out of them. So you expect the dude that's having his office towed up to be like, "I'm gonna restrain you, young man"? No, he
Because I
gonna
do
choke the
believe
shit
if
out
you
of him.
go to grab her and
No, not if he's a
she knocking your
professional.
glasses off,
Man, these
she
folks, I'm
fighting,
telling
she
you
gonna
what.
bite. I don't feel
Yeah,
like it's gonna stop with a grab. She's finna fight.
no,
You see
yeah.
how she gonna turn that office up? You
and
try to
then
grab her, that little baby gonna bite you, scratch.
and then again, you don't know what her issue is. It could be because she's been get hit or touched or something of that nature.
Right.
So
Exactly.
you exacerbating that situation
That fear, yeah, all
Yeah, what
that.
you triggering?
by grabbing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something definitely deeper than her just wanting to act a fool. But on the same note, I ain't finna clean that shit up. So somebody finna get in here. You ain't finna tear my room up. Even if I have to stand in front and stop you from doing it, I ain't finna do it.
Man, I'm telling you,
Um,
when you but D, have you ever been in the midst of a child that's in a rage, especially if it's an emotional issue? Have you ever been
yeah,
in
What
that
they
in the
pick
heat of
up
that
a
I've
moment?
been
pencil
in
and
A
them.
little
stab
kid
you
that's
with
not
it?
communicating
I'll tell you
verbally.
something. I done had my windshield bust out of my car because my son had a manic episode and was fucked up. I stood there and watched. You know why? Because ain't no reaction. I gotta let that slide. And that's what you have to do with these kids sometimes. Fuck my property. My son was going through something. I had to let him process that. And that's how you do have to do with these kids in these classrooms. Because I'm telling you, they going through some shit. I've seen it. And like I said, a lot of it
No
is.
doubt they're going through some shit, but you ain't finna be tearing my room.
I'm telling you,
I'm
but see,
sorry.
you in there, when you in that moment, D, you ain't thinking about your room. You concerned about that child. You like fuck that room. That child is
Yeah,
hurting.
no, I'm like, I know you're going through something, but tearing my room up is not gonna cure what you
I
have going
don't
on.
know.
See,
I don't know.
being
I've
that
been
I
to see
And then you're talking about a kid on at that age that doesn't know how to
Express.
express
express
themselves,
herself
but they're gonna learn
and
how
and
not
and,
to
and how to
express
control
themselves.
herself. Control. How can she? How can
Yeah.
she in that particular moment if she's not getting that guidance, if she's not getting that rod at home, then how is she going to listen and understand how she's supposed to conduct
Because
herself
my
in
thing is
this
this,
environment?
and I just see it different. The fact that she know to tear that room up, and I did that. Okay, and I'm gonna put up bitches on the
Mm-hmm.
street. Okay, uh, this guy named Ricky Brown was getting ready to take me and this chick named Leslie. I'm in junior high. No shit, I'm in the 6th grade. Anyway, he was gonna take us, and I said I told her I was gonna go to the fair, so he was gonna come take us, be the little chaperone or whatever. So they pull up in the drive. I didn't tell mom that I was going, what I was actually doing. So when he pulled up outside and he knocked on the door, I did tell her I was going to the fair. I didn't tell her I was getting there or nothing. So when the guy came, he knocked on the door and he said, "Hey, I came to pick him up to go to the fair." Mama looked back, and when I came out dressed, ready to go, she gonna ask me, "Was my room clean?" My room wasn't clean, so she told me I couldn't go. So I went in that room and I tore that goddamn room up, and I knew what I was doing. I tore that room all the way up. I yanked stuff. I threw everything down, pulled the bed up, threw the stuff out from the closet. I tore that room up. Mama let me tear that room up. Then she came in there and she said, "Now clean this shit up." And I was up all night because I had to clean it up. I had to get all the shit that I threw in the closet, all the stuff that was up under the bed. She made me clean all that up. I had to hang everything up, and it took me like 3 hours. So I didn't go to bed. And this incident happened around 7 o'clock. I didn't get through till midnight. So I knew what I was doing. So
But
the
a lot
fact
of
that that child angry, I was in a rage, and I'm talking about I threw my dresser down, and I act a plum fool.
That's
these
that's
kids are
because you
on
was
But
the
you
four.
sound
but
you sound
a
but
lot
you
of these
sound
kids
positive.
a lot of these kids nowadays are on the spectrum too. A lot of them are on the spectrum. A lot of my talk were on the spectrum too. So that's a
We were on
whole other
spectrums too, but
thing
they wasn't classified as that growing up.
because we didn't know no better.
We didn't know. So
Mhm.
I
But my
like,
thing now, we didn't know no
go
better
ahead.
back then, and I think now we over spectrum in these damn kids. No shade. I
Yeah,
feel like
Yeah.
I feel like
some
we
of
Thank
them.
you,
didn't know back.
Anthony.
I
I
feel like
like her because a
we
lot of
didn't know
times,
back
even
then,
though
which
we,
made sense. But now I feel like everything is on the spectrum. On the spectrum,
yeah,
everything is autism.
Right.
Autism. My child got a stutter. Oh, she autistic. Everything is now being self-diagnosed, not even by a
ADHD.
doctor.
Right.
Yeah,
If it's not
self-diagnosed,
that yeah,
and
if
it's
it's not
just like,
diagnosed by a doctor, it's bullshit.
yeah, and
Well,
I'm like, so all
well,
this spectrum and all this autism and all this.
that's because no one wants to take responsibility for their child, so it has to be something wrong with them,
Mm.
right?
Now if you have a doctor diagnose it, then shut the fuck up about it. Then
Yeah,
doctor
that's
diagnose it,
different.
it's
That's
real.
different. If
Yeah,
a
but
if more than one doctor,
right.
okay,
So I'm
because we're
so
not just gonna
for
go by the
example,
family doctor.
but
And the
but for
teacher.
example, and I'm gonna put my own little business out there. I was not ADHD but ADD. I was diagnosed by a doctor where I had to take the medicine Focalin XR. It was these big, huge dinosaur pills. I had to go to this counselor's office, talk to a person that asked you all these questions. Are you suicidal? You want to kill your mama? Have you ever this? Have you ever that? All these depressing questions. I would answer no to every single thing. The counselor be like, she is our easiest patient. We don't, yeah, easiest patient. I took that medicine. And when I got to school, it would make me feel like I'm in slow motion and I'm depressed and I am sad, angry. I'm like having a meltdown, but it's in slow motion. I've never wanted to feel that feeling again. Only thing I was the class clown. I talked. I'm the one that's in the back of the class. I ain't wear no hat, but I'm the one who just got to get put
Hold on,
outside.
that sounds like some lean though. Let's go back to the
No,
slow motion. I may need you to send me some of them.
no matter, no
I'm just
matter.
messing with you.
Like if Cat Williams, when he telling that joke about his son saying all I'm thinking about is running, and he go to run and his body stops. that medicine does something to you. And my mom took me to go get put on that because I was diagnosed with ADD, attention
Yeah, yeah.
deficit disorder. And so it took me 1 week to be on that medicine. I said, "Oh hell no, I'll just be good." And I started flushing them pills in the toilet. And I
Right.
just and I just didn't. I went to school and I was good. I was like, I do not want to be on that fucking
And
medicine.
I tell
And
you
my
what,
mom was like, I had no idea you was flushing them pills. You were just being good all of a sudden. I said I didn't want to be on that medicine. So it's definitely mind over matter when it comes to some of this shit. No shade. Like
right.
I do know it is medically diagnosed and this and that. But when you start feeding that demon, it's gonna become a bigger thing.
Oh yeah,
And you have
I've
to
never been
understand, and
a
you,
believer in putting a child
well,
on no
yeah,
goddamn
well,
medication.
when
But
I
my
when I was,
reason is different.
I got to say this. When I was 7 and diagnosed with bipolar, I was on about 7 meds. I took all my shit. Everybody different.
Well, my deal was
Well,
different,
I feel like bipolar is a
and I
totally
may be
different ball
wrong.
game than attention deficits in a child.
Right, it
I
is.
may
It
be
is.
Because
wrong,
yeah,
y'all.
like I'm easily distracted. The teacher talking, I'm sitting back here talking and laughing. Now I'm ADD. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
It's a totally different ball game than my
Bipolar.
mood is switching
and
and my
I hear a lot of people say ass whoopings didn't do shit, but I didn't want them. And being punished or getting ass whooping, it worked with me because I didn't want them. I knew what I didn't want. So when they try to diagnose children and give them pills, I'm like, he don't need no goddamn pills. That ass whooping gonna take care of. You know how back in the day they say that goddamn just get some scotch tape or some masking tape and put it on there. That ass whooping was the cure for a whole lot of shit. And if that child ADHD are acting up and tearing shit up in the house, his ass, he'll leave the shit alone.
But you got to
So
understand, at that time, we didn't know about therapy. We didn't know about
we
learning
didn't know
disability.
about
We didn't know
therapy,
about
and a
yes.
lot of us went on to have great lives. You know, then we got that we didn't want that ass whooping. We went on and we got that education. We we lived great lives. We went on to be
Well,
prosperous.
but the people that got around on the horse and buggies had great lives too. But that don't mean we want to go back to it. So
So,
we got to progress and move forward. And now that we know better, it's time for us to do better,
but
especially about
I
our
have to
own mental
agree
health.
with my counterpart. I have to agree with Anthony on that. I feel like too, we give these kids and that under the spectrum, we that a little too much as an excuse, and a lot of
yeah.
times those children
Right.
do that just to
Cause
get
I've
away
never
with it.
heard that
But
spectrum shit no more than these past 2 years. I hear
yeah, me
they're
too.
on the
But
spectrum, on the spectrum, on the spectrum, on the spectrum. They autism, autism, autism. I'll be like, oh my goodness, like I
No,
if
know
they,
everybody not autism.
who
You
yeah,
it's a certain trait you can tell when someone's autism. It's a totally
yes.
different from ADHD,
but you
ADHD,
got you
whatever.
got
Well,
half.
I've heard
But you
it. I've
got
heard
you
it's
get
some
you.
celebrities that are movie
Yeah,
stars that
that
have
are autistic.
have
You
autistic.
have
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's different
They're
levels
different.
to it. Apparently, you
Yeah,
know.
you have extremely high functioning. You have a lot of regular high schools with people that are autistic and they can
a lot
function
of them
on their
doctors.
own. So
They got they have doctors. They actually have some working with the AI now because they see things visually.
right.
So they're different than AD and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
so everybody not part of the spectrum. But I understand that child definitely had something going on.
Mhm.
And like Austin said on a lot of these videos, we don't know what triggered that, if anything. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So if it was like Austin said, I was spoiled. So I couldn't go, so I acted a fool.
Right.
If they couldn't, if they told the child they couldn't do this and the child end up throwing a rant and throwing a tantrum,
Mhm.
that's a different thing compared to the child getting to school. It was a bad day, because we all seen that too. Even when we were in those
Right.
grades, we seen a child get dropped off or come to school, bad day, parent and whooped them before
Well,
they left home and they felt like they shouldn't have got a whipping,
well,
or like you said, the parents breaking up or whatever. Somebody, the grandma and passed or in the hospital. We don't know. So
right.
in that situation, I've seen teachers, and I wish my brother would get on here because he's a teacher, but uh, I've seen teachers fold their arms and stand in front of whatever that child is trying to destroy while waiting on faculty or staff to come to the room, like you say with the walkie-talkie. Hey,
Right.
she's having that episode, blah blah. But they're not letting them tear that room up. Even if
Right.
you have to, even if that little girl, I would even let her take her anger out on me, hit my leg or something, before I let her tear that room up. Because I ain't too keen on trying to clean up. I have kids to do what I don't want to do. And cleaning up all those, it's the little things, the pencils, the crayons, the pen, the tacks. I don't want to pick that shit up. So I'm not gonna
Right.
let her do that. I'm gonna stand in front of it. But I understand you going through some things. I'm gonna try to talk to her while she's doing that. But that other lady sounded like, and it's just me stereotyping, she sounded like a heavy set black woman sitting on her ass letting that kid do that shit.
Heavy set is
I'm
crazy.
I'm just saying. She's sitting there saying, "Well, that's not
Now
gonna
I
do
disagree
it."
with the heavy set. Now why she gotta be fat now?
And that what she sound like. Don't do that. I'm
No,
not.
what
No,
she
she
said. No,
sound
let me tell you
older.
what she
She
sound
gotta
like.
sound. She sound
She sounds
older.
like somebody who just following protocol, asking the questions she was trained to ask when a child does that, and
Hello.
she's not giving a fuck really about what that child is going through or nothing. She sounds nonchalant, and she sounds like she's just following
She
protocol.
sound like she's sitting on her ass to me.
Well, she following her around the room, so she doing a little bit more than sitting on her
She
ass.
wasn't following her around the room. That girl was sitting on her ass.
Because I had a driving job. I had a driving job where I had to pick up children to go visit their parents for Child Protective Service.
Right.
I had to transport kids to go see their parents and visit when they had the parents had visitation. I take the kids to go to the same office and meet them. And we had to do a training video. In the video, it says if a child is attacking you, you are not to fight back. You are
Mhm.
not to retaliate. You are to put your hands up and say, and it was in quotation, no, stop, don't do that. And I remember looking at it and going, shit. And
That,
but it's kids that it's drivers that have gone through that, being attacked, being hit, kids trying to jump out the window, all sort of stuff, and you just have to stop. No, don't. You can't defend yourself
exactly.
or
So you see,
nothing.
Anthony, once again, she goes with what I said. I say, even if the kid has to beat me up, punch my leg or whatever, I'm gonna be like, calm down. This is not what you do while I'm waiting on staff or whatever to come in. I'm not gonna just sit there and let that kid do that episode, tearing my goddamn room up. No. I'm
No,
gonna
no,
have my
no. We
arms
ain't talking about you
folded.
turning the
No,
room up. We
she
talking
can
about
hit
when
my
they start
leg.
fighting you.
I'd rather her fight me because I don't want to clean up. My mom made me clean up so goddamn, but I don't even wash my own car.
We stuck on clean up. We talking about a kid that's busting you in your face.
That's all well
You
and
think
fine when
she
she
too
little, but
little to
you
bust me in my face? Ain't no kid gonna
what
do
if
that.
it's a
I break my
high
I'm talking
leg.
about
schooler?
all sort of
What
sizes.
if it's a high schooler?
Shit, a high school hit me. I'm just gonna lose my job.
See, it's
I'm gonna
different.
wear that motherfucker out. Cause you in high school, you know better. We finna get it, and I ain't gonna miss you.
And
We
it's
finna get it.
some, I don't know if they keeping their jobs or not, but it's been some teachers that's been getting with it. It's been some
Hell
teachers that's
yeah,
like,
you have to,
cause
and
you
that's why
six
we
foot
talking
tall,
about this
my nigga.
topic tonight.
You 5'9", 5'10", you 6 foot. We shoulder to shoulder, like, and you finna
That's why
fight
we got
back.
a teacher shortage.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey, Austin, we know somebody. He was a sub. He called himself being a substitute teacher, and I think he just got cleared like last year, but this happened like years ago. He was a substitute teacher at Bastrop High, and one of the kids threatened him and tried to fight him, and he pulled the gun that was in his briefcase. He pulled the gun out on him and told him if he touched him, he was gonna, lay him down. And of course, he couldn't be a substitute teacher anymore. But they just cleared him of the charges, I think, last year. One of our
Mm.
classmates actually. And I should have hit him up to have him to come on here, but something has to be done, especially now. Let's get back to what Anthony was saying, especially on the high school level.
Right.
What can be done on a high school level? Because ain't no high schooler, especially now, because it's too
You
out of
gonna have
hand
to
now.
catch them in middle
Ain't no
school.
high
That's what it's
schooler.
Because
gonna.
Right.
let me
You
tell
can't,
y'all.
you
I know I
can't,
got a
you
little.
can't do nothing on a high school level that if you
Exactly.
don't start in
That's
middle
why I
school.
said it needs to start with I'm gonna say third, maybe third or fourth grade to sixth grade. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Roughly middle school. But after that, if you don't catch them, it's nothing you can do.
well, I
Except like
think
what we had. We
My
had a
my
I
choice.
think I,
experience in high
I think one
school.
thing we're leaving out is that we're gonna have to have more cohesion and parental involvement with the schools.
Very much
Because
so.
if you're thinking they're gonna go to school and act a certain way and it's not gonna have to translate at home in some sort of fashion, you're fooling yourself.
But that's
Because
what
like I
well the
told
Yeah,
y'all,
parents
I
that's
was
the issue.
in
That's the issue right there. They're not receiving
they're not.
any
uh,
type of
when,
discipline or
uh,
nourishment or whatever at home. So
when do the
they
parent
feel
have
like they can act
time?
like that.
When do they have time? If that mama
Or it
working two
could be the
jobs,
You have
opposite.
to make you
Parent
got to
could
make
be beating
time. You
their
if
ass.
the
hey,
mama working two
made you
jobs,
you
that's
made
why
time
they're
to
dropping
fucking
out of
get them.
school
So
at
you need to
15
make
and
time
16 years
to
old.
deal with
The
Because
them.
the way
mother
I
don't
feel
have
about it,
time,
the
and
way
most of
I
them
feel
single
about it,
mothers.
if they're doing it at high school, they're doing it at home. It's not just happening at the
They
school.
doing it at home, but when do the mother have time to discipline them if it's a single parent home? If
I
it's
don't
You're
a,
gonna
think
have to
a,
make
discipline
a
doesn't
single
time.
take that
mother
much
home.
time. I'm not
However
gonna
you're
hold
gonna
you. I
do
don't
it,
think
you
discipline
got to
takes.
make time.
I don't think discipline doesn't take so much. I don't think discipline takes a lot of time. I don't think discipline
You
really
heard
takes a
Kirk.
lot
When
of
Kirk
time.
was on here, Kirk said his wife was a school teacher. By the time she get home and work on her lesson plans and all that, the kids was eating pizza. They was eating so much
He did
pizza.
say that, but Kirk never said my kids was out of control. My boys were
He didn't say they
bad.
was out of
My boys
control,
was
but
getting
he
put in
said
jail. He didn't say
mom
none
did
of
not
that.
have time to deal with the kids. They wasn't out of control because they knew Kirk would put something on their ass and they feared
Hello,
their
there it
father.
is. There it is. That answers the question.
Yeah, but what if
It ain't
the
on the mama.
father's not
Kirk
in the
stood
home?
Kirk's. Well, I don't know about that.
No,
I
So
can't.
so
Yeah, if we're
so
going off Kirk
so
I'm
example
even
good,
that
bro.
you gave, you
even in that
answered your own
scenario,
question.
we're missing something because if they're not acting out at home and they're not acting out at school, then that means that they are respecting authority at home. So therefore, they respect authority at school, and
Because
that's
if
why
you're
they're
not
not
respecting
getting
the
in
stuff,
trouble.
because and y'all know I got a story for everything. I promise you. Leaving Low B is married, the private school. I had to. They shut down. I was gonna graduate from there. They shut down my freshman year of high school. I had to go to Lancaster High School my sophomore year. I took a history class. I cannot think coach whatever. He was a coach. He was also the history teacher. I thought I was in the movie with Michelle Pfeiffer on Dangerous Minds. I was shell shocked. We got paddles at school. I would get my ass whooped at home if I was bad. I was heavy in church. I was very yes ma'am, no ma'am, very respectful. I'm not talking back. I'm not putting you through no problems. My mama will come up here with me. My sister, if my granny can make it in this building, anybody who is associated in my life will come up here and embarrass the hell out of me. So I knew it's only so far I can go. I had this class that I was in. Girls, I'm talking about mini skirts, lime green hair, blonde, platinum blonde, Kool-Aid red,
When
long
was this?
nails.
And you had
You
lime
understand?
green hair.
Long, I'm telling you, I was shell shocked. I was so like out of my element. Because when I left school, we were still kids. We were
Right.
15, 16. We were still kids. Like, and so when I went there, I'm still in kid mode. We talking about big breasts, big booties. Why you wear them little earrings? They wearing big hoops, sexy across the name of them. And it's just, I'm like in a whole, I feel like I'm in a whole nother world. I ain't got. You can call my mama. Shit, I give you the phone number. Call her. I don't give a fuck what I'm talking about. I'm in
Yeah,
shock.
discipline not at
Yeah.
home.
I'm in
Yeah.
shock. I'm like, I am on the episode of Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Mhm.
I'm like, I am on Freedom Riders. This is Compton, California. I'm like, what is going on?
Lancaster's pretty much close to it, but
And I'm like, and that's how I felt in that classroom that day. I'm like, this is crazy.
And you
Their
talking
mama gonna
about
come up here and kill them. They like, here's the number.
right.
Call her.
And you
And
talking
it's
about
I'm like,
Lancaster,
oh,
Texas? You talking about
Lancaster
Lancaster and
State,
Texas?
yes.
yep.
Because actually,
Let them say they calling my mama. I'll probably burst into tears and start getting on my
right,
knees begging.
right.
Please, I won't do it no more. Don't call her, please. Don't threaten to call my sister. I'm really finna get embarrassed. Me and my sister 18 years apart. My sister didn't play that shit. That's like a
Right.
second mother, and she can make it up here quick. We used her address to get me into school. So I'm so get in that classroom and we talking about girls. Give a fuck. Whatever you could call her. And it would I'll be like, oh my God. We're
No.
Yeah, the
16.
parents aren't being parents or they can't because they're working.
No,
And
A
no,
I'm
no.
single parent have two
I'm gonna be
jobs.
nah.
completely
I
honest with
mean,
you. I'm
Man,
gonna
you
be
can't
completely
keep
honest
blaming it
with
on
you.
that,
When
bro.
I
but yeah,
finally
you can't.
no no
Yeah.
no. I ain't gonna say the mama was working. When I finally got eyes on the mama, guess what the mama got? Kool-Aid her,
Dude,
long nails. She
like
talk
Kurt
just
say,
as
the mama
regular.
was tired, so she
Probably
wasn't cooking for them.
probably ready to get up there and fight.
Right. Mom sitting
Yes,
at home all day, not
her
doing
mama
nothing.
smoke weed with them. It'd be like, oh shit. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Or
Because
and
it's funny you said Lancaster because when I did a mentoring program with the alternative school in Lancaster a couple years ago, so I know what you're talking about. And the girls are the worst ones.
yes. I was in shock. I'm like, oh my God, my mama come up here and kill me.
Mhm.
All they
So
gotta say, I'm
Austin,
gonna
when you
start
have that
calling parents.
single
I done stop clowning immediately.
Austin, when you have that single mother with two jobs, we already know
Who keep taking it to the
that the
single mom?
kids are now raising themselves, especially the daughters. That's why they're getting pregnant and everything.
And
But
That's part of
and
the reason
that
why.
we cannot continue
but yeah, we can't
blame it
say
on
get
that,
two jobs. A lot
because
of people
you
got two jobs.
and then a lot of people they still make it through with having good kids. If you look at a lot of success stories about people that were single moms and brought their kids up, and even some of the worst environments. So we can't keep using that. We can't use as an excuse.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
why don't
hell,
they? So they just voluntarily not raising their kids.
a lot of them not.
Discipline.
A lot of these folks not. I used to be a CASA rep for abuse and neglected children through the court system. A lot of them just ain't shit, man. This is a God the honest truth. A lot of parents, now the hard working ones, they kids, it's a crapshoot. But it's a lot of parents out here, man. They just ain't shit.
You'll be
Sorry.
if you spend any time dealing with kids that have been in CPS and look at their parents, then you'll understand what we're talking
Right.
about.
Right. They just
So
not
a lot of
shit.
times the parents just voluntarily not
Yes.
discipline these kids. Just choosing
Yes.
not to.
Yes, they trying to be their friends, buddy. They smoking with their kid. They in the same
Yeah.
class
What you
with their
feel about that,
kid.
AJ?
I've had some friends. I've had some people that I went to high school with where the parents you can't tell the teenager from the teenager.
Mm-mm.
She wearing the same clothes as the kid, same Jordans as the kid. You can't tell the teacher. I mean, you can't tell the teacher. You can't tell the student from the mama. You call the mama to the
Um,
office. You like I called your mama, not your sister. What's she doing
and
here?
the
I
only
am the
way that
mama. It's
the
like,
only way
oh,
that you can tell that they the mama is by the stretch marks on her stomach hanging over her
we ain't
skirt.
doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Boy, you crazy.
We not doing that, Austin.
What you say,
Well,
AJ?
but
We are
you know
not
what
doing
though? Really,
that.
you can't go by there too much. You can go by the bullet wounds or
Hell
the
yeah, they
C-section
got stretch
scars
marks
or
That's
now
what
You
I
something.
because
said.
they
The
crazy.
having
C-section
babies at
scar.
10 and 12 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I agree. I agree. That's why I ain't got hard nothing to say, God, because I agree with everything y'all saying.
All right,
I
but a
want
lot
to
of
hear what
parents,
AJ got to say about the single mother and the discipline of the
But I can
kids. If
tell you
she
one
got two
thing, them little
jobs.
girls I'm talking about, I bet you couldn't pull no paddle out and whoop their ass. I
no,
bet you couldn't. I bet they'll fight you to the
And a
ground.
lot of them want to be
And
friends with
probably
their
it'll
child
probably
because
whoop
their
you.
child helping pay the bills.
And plus, you have students now that fight teachers anyway. You hear that
right.
all the time. So
And
just
you
think
got
about
parents,
calling yourself trying to
and
discipline them
you
with a
got
board or
parents that would
paddle.
tell, and you got parents that tell their kids, man, you better swing on that fool. You better not let nobody put their hands on you. I don't give a damn as a teacher or not.
I
You got
saw a
parents
girl
that'll tell
on
you
the
that.
face on a video mace her teacher. He took her phone. He was
Right.
white. She was black.
Now this
He
here right
maced
here,
his ass.
I feel like is too damn young to do this shit.
Off of your phones. We're in the middle of a lesson. Sir, no, we do not have phones on in class. Give me your phone. Sir, give me your phone.
Oh,
You can get it back after class. Ooh.
No, he didn't.
What is your problem?
What's your problem, lady?
Excuse, little boy.
Who you talking to?
Look.
I don't know. I would have
Yeah,
lost my job.
I would have
that
I
slammed that
would
little
say, is this
motherfucker
a
all up against
skit?
that
Cause she
wall.
looked like
I
a
that look like
You can't do
that look
that.
is
That's
this a
against the
that
skit?
look
She
like
law.
a
looked
little
like a
that look like
That's
a
fool.
why
little
I ain't
skit.
teaching no
Go
more.
to jail. You can't do that.
That's why I'm not
She
teaching no
could,
more.
but she made the first move. You might as well go with what you know. She made the first move. She got
That
in
look a
his
little
face.
that looked a lot that looked a little skittish to me.
I said
Yeah,
that
it
too. I said,
did
"Is
a
this
little
a
bit.
skit?" Because now she looking like a fool.
Right.
You better go from the
Yeah, I
show.
said that too, but then the
You
way he was pulling on her hair, that when I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I agree.
He, that,
it
yeah, if
it
you
looked
look
the
at it, he
skittish,
wasn't pulling that
but
hard.
no, but still,
And
But like y'all was
that
saying,
happens.
probably wasn't
This
feeling
that
the
that hard.
happens,
Probably
right?
and the phone.
blue.
I'm telling you, the phone situations will set it off. A lot of these videos I be seeing it be about the phones.
Right.
When I
Mm-hmm.
was in school, it was about that phone. That phone will
Mm-hmm.
set it off every
That
single
phone tell
time.
all you need to know about your child.
Yes,
Right.
that phone will set it off. Parents taking the phone, teachers taking the phone. That phone will set off. I don't know what it is. That needs to be
Right.
studied. That phone will set off a trigger or a
Cause they
fucking
always on the phone.
But
anger
what
in
you
you.
what
My mama took my phone and I fainted. We had to call the ambulance. I don't
I
know
didn't
what.
tell you what I
I don't
did
know
when I
what.
had
I don't know what's going on with the phones.
what I did was when I had teenagers and they all had phones on my plan. What they acted up, I would go online and cut their phone off and cut off and change the Wi-Fi password. That way they couldn't use their phone.
Yeah,
You
I don't
do
know
what
what it
now?
is. Something about that phone
You
will
know, they we
set some
all had
shit
to,
off.
I was raising 4 teenagers, so I had them all on the phone plan. When them act up, I go on their account, disable their phone for a week, a month, however long it
Well,
took.
what do you do at school though?
At school, I can't control that, but I can control
Okay,
it
the
in the
key
house.
is how do we control or get control of the youth?
You can't control the youth. All you can do is raise the youth and guide the youth. They're gonna do what the hell they want to do. You can't control them. You can
Yes,
guide
you
them. You
Okay,
can
so
can.
how
teach
was
them.
y'all able to be controlled?
I wasn't
Right.
controlled, man. I was guided. Nobody controlled me. That's what I'm saying. I'm not.
Well, let
I
me ask
wasn't
you this:
raised like other
I
folks.
why
disagree.
did
I
you
definitely
know
was controlled.
to respect the teachers or the educators?
Because I was raised in an environment where I was taught to respect authority, not to not question. I was raised different. And a lot of these kids not being raised or they raising their parents. You got a lot of that going on. You got a lot of
Yeah.
emotional incest going on in our families. You got a lot of shit going on. So
So
you
it's the
can't,
parents' fault.
it's not nobody's fault. It's just the conditions of the world. And we got to learn to adjust to them because we all a
That's
perfect storm of some
adjustment
fucked
shit.
up
I'm
shit.
gonna get my respect in this house.
Okay. I mean, I ain't nobody saying you can't in your house, but you gotta understand when you venture out and when you interact with other people, you don't know what you dealing with. And the old notion of just hitting a child in a school, you don't know if that child got trauma. You don't know that child gonna get up and bite the shit out of you. You don't know if the parent gonna come and whoop your ass. You don't know. The world has changed. So we have to find ways to resolve and appeal more to our young people's way of thinking and critical thinking instead of beating the shit out of them because we mad.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because that
I agree, but you
because
don't beat the shit out of them because you
It's
mad.
like, how can we teach them to resolve conflict without violence if we don't?
yeah,
Cause this is all we doing. We wouldn't, but we ain't really whipping them because of what they did, unless we afraid they're gonna hurt themselves. We really whip them because we pissed off. We
No,
inconvenienced. We mad.
no, that's crazy. That's crazy as fuck to me. From
And
to
them
hit
the
on
ones
somebody
that
because you
don't even
mad,
have kids.
that don't make
Right.
sense to me. I never been around that. I always understood that.
Now that's going on. People out here whooping their kids just to make themselves feel better.
That's
That's
crazy.
a thing.
That's a
That's
lot
a
of it.
thing.
For
That's a
every
lot of it.
reaction, for every action there's a reaction.
Yeah, and sometimes everything is a action.
Yeah, I
yeah,
Everything,
mean,
and
if
everything
everything
don't have to
needs
be
a
no
Yeah,
action.
that's a
reaction.
crazy parent.
man, if you in the store and your kid want a bag of Skittles and you beat the shit out and clothesline them, that's a little bit inappropriate, don't you think? Kids gonna do stuff,
Or
but
yelling
you
and
ain't got to
screaming
beat the
at
shit
them
out of them
and
for nothing.
stuff.
Yeah,
Or if they
I
use the
don't know
restroom on
because
themselves.
I seen a kid
Oh
throwing a
yeah.
tantrum the other day because the mom told him. No, we was actually at Pizza Hut. I took the kids to Pizza Hut, and the little Caucasian boy was acting an ass. He was showing out, and the mom sitting there not doing that. The grandma uh, was the one who jumped up and disciplined the child. So she had to get up. She popped him a few times, pop, 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 held his arm up, hit him on his ass a couple times. He cried for maybe 30 seconds. And he sat down and he was good for about a minute and a half. Then he started back acting up. The mama just sitting there. So I just feel like a lot of times the parents allowing these kids to get away with this stuff. And I know everybody's soft and should nobody whoop their kids, but mine get ass whoopings and they don't want ass whoopings. And so all I have to do is say, if you do that, I'm gonna whoop your ass. They don't want it. And so I don't have a problem, especially out of the youngest one. Um,
Right.
he don't want to get a whipping because he's seen what it has done to his older siblings. And so whipping is not what he wants. So he's the best kid in the house. You know, he wants to do things like sneak food up to his room and eat. But if I tell him, if I catch another crumb on this computer desk, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Guess what? Ain't no more crumbs on that computer desk. So we can sit here because everybody's soft now, and all the kids are under the spectrum, and they going through all of this stuff to get those government checks because they got something wrong with them mentally. We can strive on that,
But I do
or
feel
you can
like
take
time is
Wait, wait,
control.
wait,
changed.
wait, wait, wait,
I
wait,
do feel
wait,
I'm
like
wait,
time
sorry.
has
wait.
changed.
I'm sorry.
Every single
I'm
thing
sorry.
Right.
don't come to a whooping. Like today,
Yeah.
my uncle was with me. We dropped my daughter off at school. My uncle's my mother's oldest brother. And today's the first time my daughter cried. The first 2 days she was lit, she excited, and I guess today sunk in like, damn, I'm finna do this every day. And today she decided to cry. And he said, and this is funny how this conversation happened. He said, I wouldn't be able to take, because he has no children. I would not be able to take my daughter crying. I better hurt me. But my
Hmm.
son, yeah, no, that's not going down. And I said, what do you mean? He said, my boy, what the hell you crying for? I said, so your son, who's 3, because my daughter's 3, I said he's crying because he don't want to leave you. He don't feel like going to school today. He's having a toddler moment, and you would get upset with him. He said, back in my day, because this is an old school thing. My uncle is 60. Little boys, all that crying, you get the shit beat out of you. I said, you, and so now we're going down a tangent, and I done called him ignorant there. I said, I think that's ignorant. I said, I think
Hmm.
that's very ignorant. I said, I don't agree with that. He said, that's that new school stuff. That's why all these boys are soft. I said, you would beat the shit out of your 3-year-old. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. So then we just went from left to right, left to right. But I do believe everything you don't need to get your ass beat for everything.
Mm-mm.
Not everything, but for being disobedient. When I say no eating in the room and you choose to eat in the room anyway, I got a problem with that.
So then I take away your game. You won't be on the
That means
computer.
you
No,
chose.
but I'm not correcting anything you are saying about your son. I'm just saying in general, I
I
feel
mean,
like
we do that too. We use we use more methods of taking things than anything. But the oldest, she don't give a fuck. The oldest could be in a goddamn room with nothing in that motherfucker. She all right. She'll be having shit dancing in her head. She don't give a fuck. So you have to do something different to that one, and that goes back to what Austin was saying. All whippings don't work on every one. You have to figure out what works for that, especially when it's at home. Taking her shit, she don't give a shit. But the brother, the older brother, he's hooked. He loved his PS5. He loved his computer, his gaming computer. He loves his cell phone. So if we threaten to take his cell phone, he's like, oh no, 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 he don't want you to take his phone. But you take anything from that girl, she like, shit, I'm still eating, I'm still
Right.
shitting, I'm still pissing, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna get dressed, I'm still gonna go to school. I'll just play with somebody's shit at school. Ain't no big deal. She has
Right.
my mentality. She don't give a fuck. And I'm like, that whipping shit, you know what I'm saying? That don't work. No, nothing really works for her. So then that's the one that you really have to sit there and find a motivational speech and,
okay.
and sit down and say, if you do this, we'll do that. If you do
Right.
this, we could do that.
Right.
But the other ones, you take stuff or threatening to whip them, that shit work. They don't. The boys don't want no ass with them, but that girl don't give a shit. And I'm like, I don't give a shit, but you don't give a shit more than I don't give a shit. And I'm
And you,
like,
and, but
what's
you know
wrong with
what
that?
though? But you know what though? It's a lot of kids you don't have to whoop it all. But that's the beauty of being a parent is that every relationship with each child is unique. Some children you might have to beat the hell out of every day. Some you might never have to touch. But you
Right,
got to treat them all as individuals. Everybody's motivated by something different.
right. Because the mama be like, now the only thing she don't like the daughter because she's 15, she wants that privacy now. So the mom came up with the tactic of removing the door. Now I never heard of removing the door
that'll get
until
it.
the mom said it. And the mom, because I was like, why are you taking the door off? But she wants her privacy. So now she stays in the bathroom longer and all that because she don't have that privacy. She's trying to take her phone in there in the bathroom now, and all that. Whenever she would act up, mom took the door off. So the door was effective.
Right.
She didn't like being without a door.
Right.
That's the only thing that I saw worked.
Yeah,
But taking
that
the
door, do it.
computer, taking the video game, taking the phone, that helper don't give a shit. You know, and look, the mom even saying, you ain't gonna watch no TV. Go in there and take that TV out the wall. I say, I ain't taking it. And we got a heavy ass TV. I said, I'm not taking the TV out the wall. We'll just unplug the bitch, And then she be like, go in there and get a computer. I ain't finna hook her. She got double screens. And I ain't going to hook that. Now I take the power cord and maybe the PCU, but I ain't finna take all that other shit, down. But none of that worked. But that door, that worked. Especially now that she's older. She don't want that door off because now the little brother who's 10 years old can run by there and see her in the room. Look at her. She can't close that door. So the door is the only thing that worked. But other than that, she don't give a fuck. So that's I don't know if that's going to end up being a psychological issue when she grown,
But
crazy. I don't
agree
know.
with AJ. If it has to start, it has to start in middle school because I was in high school and I feel like if you go to touch them kids, you got to fight on your motherfucking hands. And I hope you got your savings saved up and you got another job already lined up because they going to give it to you from the shoulders. You going to have to get out there like this.
From day one.
From day one. So
Well,
I do believe, and I feel like middle school is the best tactic because in middle school, we're still so silly. We still very
And we're
immature.
still learning ourselves
We're
and we're
still learning
still trying
ourselves.
to,
I've spoken
yeah,
to a lot of teachers
So
that
it just
teach middle
stops at
school,
middle
and
school.
that's the worst. That's the worst age.
I heard that too.
What's
That's the
that?
worst age. Middle
What's the
school.
word? Yeah, because when I tell y'all all the time, when kids hit about 15, that's when they really start kind of smelling themselves and thinking for themselves. And they stop listening at that point.
that's high school 15.
Yeah, but I'm saying about
I
14,
think
15.
15 going into 16. Yeah, that's almost
Yeah,
freshman,
it's about
sophomore year.
15.
Yeah.
That's when
I
all my
think
teenagers did
I
this
think
shit.
13, 14, 13,
Yep,
14. That's
13. Yep, starting at 13. When they hit those teen numbers,
yeah.
that's when it kind of starts.
Yeah, 13, they start getting sneaky. 15, they feel bold enough to start trying shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have even kids younger than that threaten to fight teachers and
Right.
whoever else because again, they're not getting that whatever they need at home that to translate over into the school system.
What had the parents
Yeah.
gonna tell them gonna swing on the teacher? That's what
Well,
honestly a lot of these parents gonna say.
then you are doing
Um,
them a disservice, and whatever happens to them is officially on you. You are doing them that disservice.
Right.
We talking about the
Now
ones that aren't
we talk about
officially.
teachers that sock
We
and
talking
all
about the
that.
ones that are not. You're just not disciplined. They're telling you what they is and what
or
they ain't
better
gonna do.
yet, you the one that sits around and you passively aggressively discipline.
Right.
You don't really discipline, but you do. And it's
If it
like,
works,
or better
if it
yet,
works,
all
fine.
you do, or better yet, all you do is yell at your kids. So all they know is getting yelled at, and
She ain't
they
gonna
they
do
can't
nothing.
get they're
It
not
ain't so
getting
much as
yelled
that.
at
A
at
lot of
school,
times
but they
the
don't know
kids
how to
look at, they
react
know
to
you ain't
not
gonna do
getting
nothing
yelled
but
at.
argue. Mom ain't gonna do nothing but fuss.
Well, my thing was my middle son. All it took for me is to yell at him or show disappointment in him, and he would break down. I didn't have to whoop him.
Right.
Right.
Just me having a talk with him and showing him that I'm disappointed.
And that's
He-
how mine are too. The boys, they like that.
Yeah.
They don't want to disappoint me. The daughter don't want to disappoint me, so get her grades up because she don't want to hear my mouth about the grades. But if they do something too outlandish, I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna grab them. I'm gonna grab mine
Yeah.
because especially when I know they know what they're doing. Um, we have chips or sodas or whatever in the room, and they shouldn't touch them. and I go in their room and see the chips and sodas in their room. They forgot to hide it before they went to sleep. I got a problem with that. My thing is too, when I say I whip ass, I warn them, and the wife is the first one to say, oh, he talked this hard stuff like he don't do that, but he the softest one. Because I believe in talking. I believe in giving you a chance. I believe in explaining to you why you shouldn't do what I asked you not to do. So yeah, she the one who snapped. You need to go in there and whoop there. And I'm like, no, let me go in there. And she'll see me sitting. I'm the one that when she mad and she tell me to go in there, I'm that parent that go in that room and be making the sounds, doing the belt like this and having her and she over there and the daughter over there in the corner saying, and I'm just doing the belt like that, making it like she getting a whooping. I'm that one. But when they do something out of line that's completely to the left, and I done talk to you about it, now I gotta show you that I'm serious. But I'm the talking parent because, like I told y'all last week, my parents brought me up with family conferences. We would sit in the kitchen around the around the table thing and around the little bar and the breakfast bar, and we would talk out the new rules. Can't come in late at night. You do your homework and you do an hour study period when you get home from school. You do that. They laid everything out, and then they say, any questions or do you have anything to say? And then I say, well, I don't think I need to study an hour as soon as I get home from school because I'm burnt out. So they say, okay, well, you got 2 hours and you study from 6 to 7. And if it's still daylight outside, you can go somewhere, but we need you back at home at 9 o'clock. Cool. So they gave me, I grew up having an opinion in the home. It wasn't no cause I said so shit. I had an opinion as a human being. So I'm the talking parent. But the wife, she want me to whoop their ass for every little damn thing they do. And I'm gonna whoop his ass. He do this and that. And your son, he did this. I'm gonna whoop his ass. And so I'm like, let me go in here and talk to him. So I'm all right, you did this and that. Your mama said this and that. You said this. That's considered talking back. So we don't do the talking back thing. So when she tell you to do something, just do what she asks you to do.
And that was
So
my biggest issue as a teenager. I think when I got to the smelling myself point, the talking back was the biggest issue I had. Not sneaking out, not too much getting in trouble in school. I didn't get in trouble in school, but I was a big talker backer. And to a parent that's to a parent that's
that's
born in a
disrespect.
certain time period, but to me it wasn't. To me it wasn't. Like your parents were talkers. We could hold a conference. That's all I wanted. So
Right.
my mother, and I'm raised in a household, my mother and my grandmother, so we're talking about 1940s and 1960s,
Dang.
bringing up, and you get upset with me and you say I'm stupid, and I say I'm not stupid.
Oh, welcome.
Ever since I was a kid, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've always wanted people to watch the way they talk to me.
Right.
Watch what you say to me. Ever since a kid. Ever
Right.
since a kid, today, to this day, grown as hell, I do. Please watch what you say to me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Now
So
talk to you
I
that way. I'm
did
not gonna
notice
be
a lot
rude
of
to you that
women
way.
have that
Yeah,
issue because
yeah.
it
I
my
ain't just
wife has
women.
that issue.
It ain't just women.
please
I'm
watch
like
what you
that.
say to me.
Cause
And I've
people,
been like this since legit. I'm not
yeah,
lying. So that would be considered talking back. Get your stupid ass in there. Well, I'm not stupid. What you
You know
say?
what
I
I'm saying?
said I'm not stupid. And now I'm in trouble because I said I ain't stupid.
You aren't
now
supposed to say nothing.
now I'm at
And I used to tease the wife and them. If I tell her, if I say the sky is purple and yellow, and you looking at the sky and you see it's blue, just even though you know it's blue, just let me say it's purple and yellow.
now I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna disrespect what you're saying as a parent about the sky being blue. But if you ask me what color it is and I say it's blue, no, dummy, it's yellow. I'm not no dummy. That's where the problem that came
Yeah,
in at.
and I had to
The
learn
sky can
that.
be whatever the hell you say it is, but you don't
I
have to
had to
talk
learn
to me
that
a
with
certain
the
way to
wife
break that
because, and
point.
I think I said this on here. I used to, because of how I was raised at one point by, I was in different households, so I learned different raising techniques. And one was cursing you out and fussing at you. So you can curse at me all day, it doesn't bother me. You can raise your voice, it doesn't bother me. But I tried doing that one time with the wife when we first met, and I noticed like A week or two later, if she do the same thing, and I was like, didn't I mention that I didn't like this, and that? I found out when I started yelling, she tuned me all the way out
Yep.
because her parents used to yell at her, and she didn't. She knew she didn't want to hear nobody yelling at her and talking to her some type of way. She tuned me all the fucking way out, really all the way out, where she didn't understand. I didn't not understand, but she didn't hear nothing I
And I
said
think she's been that
once
way
I
since a
started yelling.
child.
And so I was like, and so until I understood where she was coming from, I didn't get it because I was taught when a person put emphasis, raised their voice, that meant that they're serious. But to her, that was a form of, I guess, verbal abuse, and she would tune you
Emotional
out.
violence.
Yeah, and unnecessary aggression.
Right.
Yeah. So you can't curse the
That's
kids
what
out now.
happens when all you
Now
do
that's
is
not what
yell
that
at
that's
your
not what they
kids.
mean. They
What you
don't
say,
mean you
AJ?
can't curse. They don't. Oh, I'm sorry.
I said that's what happens when all you do is yell at your kids, though.
Yeah.
Right.
They become, they used to it. But you can't curse the kids
Mhm.
out at school, can you?
I mean,
No,
you can
My
do what you
my
want. I
teacher
mean,
did, Mr.
yeah,
Coach
yeah.
but
Coach
see, you can't
Johnson.
do that. You can't do that at school, and so
I
that's what
don't
they
think you
used to
can do
at
that at
home.
school.
The
I think
football
the
Right.
only
coaches
That's
one, the
what.
can.
only
But
ones
that's
that
what they
got away
used to
with it
at
at school was
home.
the coaches,
Yeah, the
because they
coaches
cuss you
can.
went out, they cuss you out on the football field and everything else. So when you
But
got the
Coach
class,
Hamlin used to curse, right, Austin?
coaches
Yeah,
would
That
do
was the
the,
only
the
one that
female
cursed at us
teachers.
sometimes.
was Coach Hamlin.
They
Yeah.
still do.
I've only had one female teacher to cuss, and that's because they were trying to give us a serious announcement about code red, and if we have an active shooter, this and that. Because a kid brought a gun to school, and we were talking, and she was like, "Y'all can't hear it, cause y'all won't shut the fuck up." And she was very
Oh no.
loud speaking
Coach
woman.
Hamlin used to say, "Get your sorry ass over there and sit down. What you over there for? Bring your ass over back over here. Why the hell? Why the fuck your dumb ass went over there and did that?" And that's how he used to talk to folks.
Hmm.
You know, just my dad and I, we were having a conversation today, and we were talking about baby girl. So just looking at her and the way that she is, um, so we were in Walmart. We were in Walmart. She kept pulling up her dress, and told her once, told her twice, stop pulling down, pulling up your dress. Then third time she got a pop, pop. So she cried for a second. Then she went back and she did it again. So then I pulled aside and we talked to her. Look, pretty girls that respect themselves don't pull up their dress. Keep your dress down. That makes you not so pretty when you're pulling up your dress. Didn't have an issue anymore. So the more, if she gets a spanking, she becomes more defiant. If you do something towards her, she's more defiant. But if you start talking to her and telling her this is at 2 years old, you talk to her and tell her, then she's more receptive to what you're
Mhm.
asking. And if you're not yelling at her, if you're yelling at her, you're not gonna get through to her.
That's what telling the kid the why. You got to tell a kid the why you disciplining.
Yeah,
You
and like I
do.
told
You
y'all
do.
last week, the guy asked me why was I explaining to my child why I didn't want him to do something. Because that's what you're supposed to. All that because I said so shit, that don't
Don't
fly in
work.
my household. I sit
Mm-mm.
down and talk to mine. Now the wife is more like, cause I said it. And I'm like, yeah, but we gotta explain to him why you saying it though. Just cause you don't want her wearing this and you say she don't need to wear that, you let her know that it's inappropriate. But if she still put that on again, you don't say take that off because I say so. Apparently, she didn't understand why you told her to remove it in the first place. So maybe we need to sit her down and explain in more detail on why you don't want her wearing those tights with that short shirt. And she's hippie and, you know. So, yeah, discipline,
And usually when you sit down and
yelling,
explain
and
it to them,
whipping
they
don't work
usually
on
fixes the
everybody.
behavior.
What
And
do you say, George?
I said usually if you sit down and explain it to them, it usually fixes the behavior anyway. Instead of you having to yell at them every 5 seconds for them doing the same shit. So take your time and explain things to your kids. And I felt like me as a father of two boys, that was really important because I felt like it was developing them as black men to be able to reason and think instead of just resorting to somebody beating your ass.
I think that was the blessing of having blessing and curse of living with my mother and my grandmother, because my granny wasn't explaining shit. I don't have to explain nothing to you. And my mother would come by later and explain why she not explaining and explaining what she meant, what she said,
Right.
what she said.
Yeah,
So
hey,
it
Right.
helped. It helped
I'm your
soften the
mother's
blow.
side because when she takes stuff from them, I get on their ass and they feeling some type of way. I'm the one before I go to bed. I ease in the room and sit on the bed and talk to them. All right, this is what happened. Okay, she told you to clean the kitchen up. You didn't clean the kitchen up. You went in your room and you stayed on the video game. So the fact that she took things, got on you, and you on punishment because all you had to do was go do what she wanted you to do, and then run back up there and get on the game. It wasn't gonna hurt you to say, whoever you playing the game with, hey, let me hit you right back. Run down there and take care of it. I say the key thing that you need to do is do everything you need to do, and then go up there and do what you want to do.
I do the
So that's
same
the key.
shit. It's
That's the
like you
key.
trying to help him in a way. It's like you trying to help him. Like next
Trying
time
to
you
help
ain't got
you.
to be
I'm
fucked
telling
up.
you how
It's
to keep
it's like
mama
it's
off
like
your ass.
I go to my son. I'm like, okay, you know where you fucked up with your mama. You fucked up A, B, C, and D. Next time, don't do this shit.
Yeah.
I just like I go to my and I explain it to him. But I'm telling you, usually whatever it is they did, they don't do it no more. You gotta talk to your
Yeah, I'll
kids.
be
You ain't
telling her
got
do whatever you supposed to do, and then the rest of us say fuck it. I'll be like, do what you need to do, and then fuck it, right? And so I'm like,
right.
it's okay for you to say that. I say, what you supposed to do? I say, you supposed to what? She say, do what I'm supposed to do, and then what? She won't say it. I say, it's okay to say it. Say fuck it. That means you can do whatever the hell you want to do after that, you know. But
So question. Would you allow your children to get powdered in school? Because I think we're just talking about general. Would you allow your seeds, your babies, your kids to get powdered in school?
the daughter, yes. My 10-year-old, no,
Why not the 10-year-old? And why the daughter?
because he's a generally good kid. Um, I would want to be notified. Now, if I'm seeing a behavior of him wanting to talk back, with him, I want you to call me first, and then I give you permission if I feel like, yeah, that's him. Yeah, he did. I believe he did that. But the daughter, yeah, all day. Yeah,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
You
I
wouldn't.
would.
My oldest son, because him being bipolar, I ain't gonna lie. I'll be afraid something trigger him and he'd be to hurt the principal.
Oh
And my
boy.
youngest
If
son,
if if, if a paddle, one paddle hitting his ass
you
once or
can't
twice,
say D. You don't
make him
know what the
lose his
trauma.
mind.
You don't know what trauma folks have been through. Some fucked up shit. It
I
don't
feel
take
you.
It ain't even got to
but
be trauma.
one.
Austin
It don't take but
pulling
a look.
shotguns and destroying offices. It ain't got
Yeah,
to be
Austin
trauma.
wasn't
Some people
normal
just
either.
ain't
Telling
going for that
you.
shit. AJ, will you allow your
I'm
children
just
to get
telling you.
paddled?
You never.
To a certain degree, long as I feel like the parents should be always involved in that decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It should be the parents' decision.
That's what I said. The daughter called me.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't even. Yeah, I don't know. With the daughter,
Well, they a lot
When
of
y'all
time
were
I
getting
had a
paddled, if
situation.
y'all were getting paddled, were y'all parents involved?
No, I told my mama
No,
told the principal to call her.
and they still
My
won't
mama didn't
call.
call. She said,
yeah, that's
"Fuck
why
your
I say
mama.
the
I'll whoop
daughter.
you."
No,
Evelyn Mitchell.
they can whip the daughter all day.
Uh-huh.
My son, he's in grade school. Call me because I don't know because I need to know what really happened because he's super
Mhm.
popular at school. And a lot of the teachers he would go to, of course, they're our color, and so they'd be like, uh, I'm not showing him any favoritism. So it's kind of a different situation. So I would need them
Right.
to call me when it comes to him, um, because I know how he is. He's a generally good kid, but because of the school system we're in, and they know his parents don't play, he tend to sometimes be targeted by certain teachers like, well, y'all let them his parents come up here and bully y'all, they not gonna bully me. So they have it out for him.
Oh,
So they'll
that's
say
awful.
stuff to
Yeah.
him that because I've watched tapes where they would say stuff to him that they shouldn't have said to him. And we've actually got
Right.
a teacher dismissed from the school because of that. Because when they pulled the tape and they played the tape and saw she was saying stuff to him that she shouldn't have said.
Now this question
So
goes without was saying, Austin, would you let your child get paddled?
hell no,
No,
no.
nope, will not.
What about we not saying the one that do the trail ride stuff. We ain't talking about the new kid. We talking
Well,
about, let's
my
say,
baby
your
don't.
oldest or the
I meant
middle
all
child.
three. I meant all his
Nope,
kids. Yeah, I don't
nope,
mean just
nope,
yeah.
nope. Answer
So
is
all
no.
of them were
All
good,
across
but
the board.
they wasn't just carrying out and you
Nope.
know.
Even
Okay,
today,
so if all of them were good, and great kids, I can see that.
because
But if I know mine act a fool and be trying to clown and they smelling themselves, as y'all say, I got no problem with the discipline at school because she knew she should have done what she did or vice versa. He knew he should have done what he did.
Right.
Now
So
when
now I'm
when the
not gonna
daughter
lie.
starts
I feel
saying,
like coming up in paddling, I agree. But like I said earlier, I wouldn't want my baby to be paddled. My kid, I wouldn't want them to be paddled. Growing up in paddling, I could see it, and I'm like, okay, I understand it, but no, just send
well,
her
my
home.
thing be this with the daughter, she had an issue last year. She was saying that she would leave out of the class and the teacher would say, you went to the bathroom, but you stayed gone long and you went here and you went there because and I was like, well, what did you do for that teacher to be watching you like that? It had to be something you've done. And come to find out that she had told the teacher she had to go to the bathroom, but she ended up at going to the candy machine and ended up in the counselor's office and stopped by and was talking to another teacher before she went to class. So she basically missed the whole hour because she was walking up and down the hall goofing off. What did
Mhm.
you do? So I'm not one of those parents who's saying my kid can't do no wrong. So if I
Right.
know that my child is capable of doing whatever, let me hear what they've done, and if I feel like that they did that, then I make my judgment from that. You have to know your
Right.
child, and no child is above the law to me. So if you fucked up and you did wrong, you did this and that, you need to learn that there's consequences. And so I had to learn that,
But
and I
I
feel
also
like
feel like times have changed too much. It's 2025. I know kids I done went to high school with that are now teachers. No shade, and they probably great teachers. It's a whole. Back then, I feel like we had teachers. Now all my teachers were old. No shade, they were
They
old ladies,
cared. They
old men.
cared.
They had a general sense of certain things. We have now kids that are just hopped off the high school bus getting a degree and now they teachers and they cuss, they smoke. I mean, my teacher probably
and
smoked. Who
that
knows? It
they
and
just
that's what's going on with my sons, the teachers he had the last couple of years. When we
yeah,
left
they be
the
young and ready to fight them damn selves, and I don't know. They be kind of
yeah, when we left
immature.
the YT school and now we're in a more brown district, it's different. Yeah, those teachers like y'all, you let them bully you just because he this and that and that. He's not gonna bully me. So they have it for your child when they go to their class. You
And you
know,
talking about a
so
kid at the end of the day.
yeah, so
well,
yeah.
so
But if I
yeah,
know
so we
my high schooler, I know that she can get in her moods uh and she does something. Yeah, I can tell. And then you know when your child whines. So my thing is, instead of me, my child can do no wrong, and you better not touch my child. This, that. That's making your child think that you're gonna route them for whatever they do. And I don't feel like no child needs to know that. When you fuck up, you fucked up.
That's
And
right.
so yeah, if let me hear what they done and what you finna get them for, what they did. All right, well, yeah,
Right.
she did that. Okay, so if y'all want
so
to suspend, you want to paddle, yeah.
and that's where becoming being an intentional parent comes in, because you
Right.
know your child, you know your child's patterns, you know their habits, you know their moods,
Mm-hmm.
and you know their modes. So
Mm-hmm.
if something is being done or being said that they did, you're like, no, that's a little bit out of my child's character,
Mm-hmm.
but let me speak with them and
Right.
identify what was going on or
Right.
what's going on.
And when you hear her
Uh,
lying or him lying, oh yeah, you did it. Give
Right.
it your
Because I
phone
mean,
back to the principal. Go ahead and
I
wear
mean,
that ass out.
because to be honest, like sometime during the day, if my son called me from school, the first thing out of my mouth is, "What did you do?" Because I don't never know. That's how I answer the phone. Son, what did you do today? Because I don't know what might happen.
And it's some parents that have the energy. Not my child. My child would
No.
never.
That's
My child would never. That'd
exactly.
be like that. That's
I'm
a
not.
little
I'm not
ignorant.
that parent.
Yeah, we're being a little
Hey,
ignorant
Yeah,
now.
I'm not
when
that
she said
parent.
this and that, just like one time my son was guilty. He's quick to, like you said, Anthony. He's quick to, if you say something to him, he's quick to correct you. If you say that was ignorant, he may say, "How was that ignorant? Why you call me ignorant? I'm not ignorant." The teachers look at that as talking back.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't discipline. They blow your phone up in the middle of the goddamn day as soon as the shit happens.
Mhm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
my phone kept going off. Well, he talking back. I said, "Well, what did you say to him?" "Well, we was doing a study and he was saying this and that and that, and then I told him he need to shut up." She said, "Shut up." He don't believe in the shut up. He'll be better if you say, "Be quiet," or "Let's not talk right now." But the teacher told him to shut up because he was trying to answer a question and she wanted another student to answer. And he said, when she said shut up, he said, "Why you tell me to shut up, or don't tell me to shut up?" And the teacher felt like, hey, that's talking back. And so they was blowing the phone up. And so I had to explain to him, the teacher has her education. You're trying to get one. I think that's it. But on the same note, she had no business telling him to shut up and trying to shame him in front of the class. So it's just different now. Kids are
And
more outspoken now because we're taught to let them express themselves and be people,
Let her
because
have the opinion.
and
they
I'm
are little
telling you
people.
now, that shut up shit is a triggering thing. I was in first grade. And I told my mother about it. My mother still talks about it to this day. We six. Destiny, I cannot remember her last name. Destiny, shout out to Destiny. Don't know your last name. Our teacher told her to shut up. She said, "You don't tell me to shut up. You tell me to be quiet." And my mom said, "That baby said that?" I was like, "Mm-hmm. I'm a kid too." I was like, "Oh my God, I would have just shut up." Because we're
Yeah,
kids. This
we would
ain't
have
your
just shut
son's
up, but
age.
he
This is
didn't.
a
He don't
6 year
take
old.
kindly to that because
This is
we
a
don't
six
tell
year
him to
old. That
shut up.
baby told her, "No, you don't tell me to shut up. You tell me to be quiet.
Yeah,
Because
and
I'm
so he
still
got in
respecting
trouble
you.
for
I still
saying that.
respect you, but shut up is crazy."
Well,
Right.
he got in trouble for that, and it was a huge issue, and because he's like Austin was. I didn't do nothing wrong. Why are you, getting on me? I don't do nothing. I'm sitting in the class, I'm minding my own business. You said answer the questions, and I'm answering, but you tell me to shut up and try to shame me in front of everybody in the class. He don't believe in that shaming.
Yeah, I don't take embarrassment well either.
Yeah, he
Nah,
don't he
me
I
don't
don't
he
neither.
think
don't take
anybody.
that
I don't think
embarrassment.
anybody do.
No.
Embarrassment
So
will make make me embarrass you. We finna be on the same level
Yeah.
of shame right now.
and he comes home and I know something went wrong because he come right in here and he tell me what happened, and now I'm like I have to decipher on what you just said. But like you say, certain things are triggers. And the
Right.
shut up, he don't play with the shut up, and putting him on blast, trying to shame him in front of the class. He don't buy that either.
No.
But um, we got ways to implement some type of things because the fear is missing. The fear,
Mm-hmm.
because we can sit all day and say respect, respect, respect. But I have to go back to Godfather, the movie Godfather, when they say, because I believe in this too, when they say you rather be feared or respected. And the guy shows fear because with fear comes respect. And
Yeah.
a lot of times growing up, we feared our fathers, especially if you grew up in a two-parent home, or if you looked at your man as being your father as being a dominant man, a dominant male. So mom would always say when dad gets home, he gonna whip.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want that whipping from dad because dad whippings were different from mama whippings. So
Mm-hmm.
we feared what would happen, which is why I kept principals list and honor roll because I feared what would happen when I went home. I didn't talk back
Mhm.
because I feared what would happen if I talk back. I don't curse around my people today. And it turned into respect, but that fear of what would happen is what molded me. So the kids today don't fear the principal. They don't fear the teacher. So if they don't fear them, there's no way they're going to respect them. But there has to be a way to get respect back, especially in high school. So my thing is, that's why I say it probably needs to start with grade school. And like Austin and everybody
Man,
agreed,
it's got to
middle
start at
school,
home. It's got to start at
it
home
starts at
before grade
home.
school.
It starts at home. But when
Right.
it leaves home, it needs to be enforced. I
Yeah.
feel like in grade school, fourth grade to maybe sixth. And then,
Yeah.
like Austin say, the worst grade is that
I,
middle, that seventh grade, seventh and eighth.
yeah. But
And at that, I
li-
think that's when there needs to be a choice.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And
But
then high school,
I'm
ain't no
I
high
got to
school kid today gonna
I
let you
got to
touch them.
yeah, I got
Not
to
today.
say this though. I got to say this though. And AJ gonna really get where I'm coming from on this. You know, the education of your children is only gonna be as strong as your school board and the people running it. Cause I ran a school board campaign before, and if you don't have the right school board, your kids are fucked either way.
I disagree.
You ain't involved in
No, that
your
D
kids'
D D D
education.
D D.
If you dumb in one school, you're gonna be dumb in another school.
No,
Exactly.
no, 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 no,
No,
no.
you
Y'all don't.
can't. You could go to
Y'all look
you
at
be dumb
Memphis.
in one school, go to another school, be valedictorian.
Because they dumber than
But what I'm saying
No,
is,
because
No shade
they
if
to
your
no
no no no. A
shade.
leadership
When
in
lot of
you're
your
in
things
high
is
school,
school,
psychological,
you could
guys.
graduate
but
from
now, but what I'm
Lancaster and go
saying
to
is,
college and be
if your
fine.
leadership in your school board is messed up, your children will suffer in the school system. I'm telling you.
And the reason I disagree, George, I agree to a degree. Okay. But I feel like it's the school, just
It's
like
the.
with government. It's the
Oh my
it's the
God.
mayor.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
know.
mayor. It's the mayor of your town. It don't
So what you
matter
do
what
when
the
your whole
Senate.
city
It don't
corrupt?
matter what the governor. It don't matter what the president. It's
Right.
what's going on at that school to me.
But what you
Because
do but D, what you do when the whole system is corrupt and fucked up? We need to talk off air. We'll
right,
talk
the
about
whole
stuff going
system, the
on.
whole system could be messed up. But if that school is a top ranked school in a messed up school district, it's the people at that school, the principal, the teachers that they're
Okay, let me give you a
employing.
scenario. Hold on, let me give you a scenario right quick. Let's say you a top rated student at a school. You go there, you bust your ass, you making the top grades. But because of the school that's in shitty shape because they misappropriated funds, you have a heat stroke and fall the fuck out on the test day. What does this say?
She should have came to school prepared. Well, like
Like
my
the
daughter's
AC,
taking ROTC,
So
Daddy
she
and
gonna
gonna
we
be
so she
know
gonna
that
come
okay.
so because the school is because they
she
still
takes ROTC after 1 o'clock.
so she
In
passed out on the
Georgia.
test day and missed out on the scholarship because they steal the money from the fucking school and ain't fixing
I
up the
mean,
AC so
yeah,
somebody fall out.
that's a little deeper than
Nah, that shit
direct
happen all the
Okay,
time.
what
That
about
shit happen
contact.
all
the
the
band
time.
ain't got instrument? The band don't
Right.
have
And
instruments to play.
instruments. Cause they
They
fucking
still
off
playing
money.
on instruments from 1996.
Hey, you know them kids that be out there with them buckets and them drums?
And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I guess cause we dealing with some real shit and some real fucked up shit, and we seeing some real problems in Memphis with the school board and how it's affecting these kids. And we got kids having heat strokes and dealing with disparity in education that's fucking up their mental health. Nah, man, it's on your school board. And
Heat
yeah,
stroke,
I,
yeah, you
head
gotta do what you gotta do.
poisoning.
But if your
I
school
feel you
board
on your
fucked, you
Man,
school
fucked.
board to a degree. Because, like I say, my daughter, she takes, we got it in ROTC this year,
Mhm.
JROTC, whatever. So we know she takes it afternoon, like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. He's in the basement of the school.
Mhm.
So it's hotter down there. So we
Mhm.
make sure she has her water and everything. So my kid ain't gonna have no heat stroke, but I even have to deal with the school board
No.
issues of the
Now,
thing. I believe in preventive
wait,
measures.
It
wait.
don't.
All that doesn't matter because number one, if the school board and the school district is not supplying those kids with the right curriculums, with the right books, with the right teaching, then they're going to continue to fail or struggle. And also not providing a proper environment, which heating and cooling, and it's not going to help um with them trying
Learning
to,
environment.
yeah, help with their learning environment, helping them to concentrate,
Right.
because you can't concentrate when you cold, when you too cold, or when you too hot. It's going to
Yeah.
cause issues.
And to add insult to injury, we not getting the bad apples out the class that's distracting.
Right.
Well, on that note, what I was taught, and like I said, I don't by no means say that what I was taught was the right way. By no means. But when I was taking college algebra and I went home with a C, a low C that was about to turn into a D, and I told Pops, I said, I can't get a BRA in there. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. He said, if one person made a BRA in there, then you can't. That's that tough love shit, but that's how I grew up. So if they let us know ahead of time that the ROTC room after 1 o'clock, that room be hot. It's okay in the morning. Say go outside sometimes, in the morning and run, but the evening class is more hot. The humidity is there. We're in Georgia, and his room is hot. So he said, make sure they have plenty of water, and plenty of things, Gatorade and things to keep them hydrated or whatever. So
Well,
if I know
not to
that, if other
discredit your
kids have went to
father.
this class and went on to be successful, got scholarships, if mine can't handle it, yeah, I'll take them out. But as long as she's going in there and she's running and doing her task, I got no problem with it.
But not to
So I can sit
discredit
there and
your
blame the
father.
school
If
board.
my child came to me and said, I cannot do algebra, algebra is hard, why would I not get her a tutor, him a tutor?
Right. You get him a tutor.
Instead of saying, if they can do it, you can do it. I'm telling you, I can't. I'm telling you, it's hard for me.
And
They
Right.
got
But
it because
see,
they
because
know they
mine,
have
mine
have different
looked at
learning
me as my
styles.
potential.
yeah.
I'm principal's list. And guess what? When they told me that, guess what? I wasn't applying myself. I was a senior. I was hanging out with the boy. I was being cool. So when they told me that and they took my things out my room, guess what? I'm back on honor roll and principal's list. So it depends on your child. Now, if your child
So
is
you weren't
capable
bad at
of
algebra, you
doing
just
that,
weren't trying.
y'all wasn't trying. But if your child come to you and then you know your child not strong in that subject or they're incapable of doing that, yeah, take them out. But mine taught me, and that's why I don't give up today. I don't give up. If there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's an A. So I believe in all of that. But if I know that that particular child is capable of performing to the level that they need to perform to pass that class, of course I'll get them out. But I'm not gonna just get her out because she
Well,
say,
certain
"Ooh, that's
curriculums you
so
can't just
hard. I
take your
can't do
child
it."
out. With
You do anything
after
else you
school
want to do.
activities, extracurriculars, cool. Certain curriculums I can't take you out of. You need that
Right. You
credit to
can't.
graduate.
Yeah, you're gonna need a tutor. I mean, when I had
Yeah.
problems with
So
algebra coming up, I just got a tutor. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. But see, they
I
knew I
didn't
could do it.
I didn't
I
get
just
no
wasn't
Well,
tutor.
it
doing it
don't mean
because
you
I felt
couldn't
like
do
I
it. It's
was
what you
just,
say,
senior.
Austin?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't get a tutor. I didn't get support like that either. I
Yeah.
had I had to get it myself. I had to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
So even in college, going through algebra and all those, well, it was just really just math that I had issues with. But I struggled in that. But I didn't get a tutor. I had to figure it out myself.
Figure it
And
out.
going back and
Thank
going
you.
back
We
to
didn't give up. So I don't know.
just
Our
because you got a
parents didn't
tutor
let
don't
us.
mean you gave up though. That's what
Well,
I
no, when I
mean.
say that, I'm saying if I would have went to them and saying I can't do college algebra, okay, I can't get the Pythagorean theorem, I just can't get it. And then they
Uh,
say, okay, we're gonna put you in business, man. That's not teaching me. Just like when the daughter or son come to me and say their stomach hurt and they don't want to go to school. Guess what? I got perfect attendance damn near for every fucking year until I was like a senior. Because they would, my head hurting. I'm borderline flu. They would say, go to school and go to school. If you feel bad, give us a call. But by the time I'm at
Right.
school and I done struggled through the first and second hour and got but a
Right.
couple more hours, and I stayed at school.
Right.
And then and so that way, now that I'm in the work, when I graduated, got in the workforce, or when I went to college, stomach aches didn't stop me from going to class. Stomach aches don't stop me, or headaches don't stop me from going to work. I'm gonna go and try to go into work. And if I just feel too bad or just vomiting or something, I have to be really sick to take off. I'm not that one. But that came from my upbringing. Had they
Right.
said, oh, well, my head hurt. Okay, stay at home. You can just sleep there, drink some Gatorade,
But
and
you
we're
know
gonna give you
why?
some
But you know
aspirin,
why?
and you
But you know
stay at
why we
home.
do that? We tell our kids that because when we grew up, it was so do what I say, not what I do. You gonna get a go to school. I don't care if your arm hanging off. That when we had kids, we overcorrected because we so didn't want to be that rigid with them that now they like my stomach hurt. I got to
And
miss a
now we
month of
believe
school.
in mental health days.
Yeah.
Right, and it
Now
helps.
their stomach hurts. You want to keep them at home because if you send them to school, oh, that's gonna fuck with their mental health.
No, it's not that they might shit on themselves. It ain't that complicated.
No,
But I
it
mean,
ain't.
mental
And
health day
No,
is
no,
if she
I
different.
think
sitting on
mental health
herself,
days like I'm just not feeling it today. Some parents
Yeah,
like,
she gonna
yeah.
have to really shit
yeah.
on herself, and then I'll go get her.
Now, cause
But
me
just
and my
her waking
ex-wife,
up saying her
but
stomach hurting
I'm tell you
and
something.
on a random
Me,
day,
yeah. But me and my ex-wife, we do give our son a mental health day from school sometimes. We like, man,
And
he
ain't
feeling
nothing
burnt
wrong with
out.
that because
Yeah,
perfect
he
attendance
like
don't go on your college application.
for real, showed up.
It don't go nowhere. It don't get you a job later in life. Perfect attendance don't do shit for you.
Just don't do
yes, it do.
nothing.
It's
Want me
just
to
a
tell you what
pat on
perfect
the back.
attendance does?
You get a certificate at
Let me
on
explain to you
award
what
day.
perfect attendance does. It
Uh-huh.
don't do shit for you, you say, but what perfect attendance does, it
Uh-huh.
teaches you when you got a headache or stomach ache, you still got to go out there and make that money.
That's true, but I'm gonna
You
protect my
just, you
son
don't
mental
you
health.
don't
go
just
to the
sit
My
off
my
job
I
because
my
know
too,
you don't
though.
because
feel
I'm
if
not
my
gonna
good.
hold you.
You
Just
if
gotta
because
I
I
go
don't
honestly,
make
feel
money,
good,
and not go to the
just
I
because
just
I
job
don't
though.
feel good, that don't mean I
what you
can't
say,
still be a
AJ?
parent. I
but
can't cook for
yeah,
my kid. I can't iron his clothes for the next day because I don't feel good. As a
I just
man that went through
right.
perfect attendance, I know that no matter what, the world still turns.
That's
But
fine if you got
Mom,
a.
mom
That's
can
fine.
pass away today.
I didn't have
we
perfect
Mom
That,
can
attendance.
pass
I
away
had
I'm
today
that's
hollering.
or
fine.
more.
Hold
I'm gonna do what
on.
I need to do, but my
That's
bills
fine.
are still rolling in.
But that's
We talking
fine, dude. If
about
you got
So
a
totally
so
headache,
that's
total.
that's
what
fine.
We
that's
talking
what
That's
about
going to
fine.
totally
school.
different
That's
mindsets
what
for
perfect
totally
attendance
different
does.
situations.
Yeah.
I do not
But
agree.
D.
What
Here's the
everyone
thing. About every month we gonna give our son a mental health day from school. I
I
pay
mean, I'm cool with the
40,000.
mental health
Oh,
day
but yeah, but I'm
because,
saying this.
like,
I'm saying this.
when
But
I know he's stressed out. Like, okay, the
okay,
other day he was off. I let him stay at home Monday or Tuesday. I let him stay at home Tuesday because he was up late studying
uh-huh.
and he didn't go to bed till like 11, 12 o'clock because he was
Okay,
up catching up doing his work because we had other things going on. So when I went in his room that morning and he was in a deep sleep, I said, you don't have to go today because he stayed up late. And why send him to school and he's not going to function? That's a wasted day and time.
okay,
But he can't just wake up and say, my stomach hurting, and he was just playing a game and hooping and hollering before he went
okay,
to bed, and I let him
right,
stay at home. No, sir.
right.
And like I say, when you start raising a child like that, where they staying at home because they say, Mama, my stomach hurt, Mama, I got a headache, you raising a sorry ass child that's probably gonna have
Oh, but I
50
think that's the
jobs
oldest
by the
trick in the
time they
book. I don't think
25.
no one
Yeah,
They're
still
gonna
get
have
falling for
50
that
jobs because
shit.
they're not going to work a
yeah.
lot of
When you
time.
put it that
I
way, I
don't think
get it.
nobody is still falling for that though. That's the oldest trick in the book since Bueller skipped school. That's the oldest trick in the book. I got a fever.
But
I'm not feeling good. This and that. There's only so far you could take that.
But you be amazed about
But
how bad truancy is because parents, you got a lot of shitty parents that they don't check.
They
I've
don't
seen
check.
kids miss a
They
whole
let
month
them
of
stay at
school,
home. So when
and the
the
parents
daughter,
didn't
when I
know.
know she just don't want to go to school because she need to piss somebody off that's wanting to whoop her ass, or she got a test or something, and all of a sudden you don't feel good, but you was on the game all night hooping and hollering, and you came home dancing and doing all the little boots on the ground shit, and now you don't want to go to school the next day. You say, well, you finna boots on the ground at that school, and if you still feeling bad by noon, I'll come get you. So that's
You
what my
giving
folks
my
did
you
to me.
giving
And by
my
the time
girl
I made
hell.
it
We
to
need to get her
noon,
on the
I'm good
podcast.
for the rest of the day. It was just me knowing that I had that safety net to call home if I still felt bad at noon.
Right.
So that's where I'm not, so
Yeah.
having that drive and determination when they get you to go to school, that helps when you get grown to go to class
Right.
and to continue to go to work. Oh, I don't feel like going today, but I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna take my shower, I'm gonna pop some B12s, I'm gonna
Well,
do my vitamins,
bills will
I'm gonna
motivate
work
you to take
out,
your ass to work.
Yeah.
and I'm going to work.
You missing work, you missing school, and you missing work gonna be a totally different lifestyle. When I miss school, I can stay at home in my PJs and eat my cereal and watch my cartoons. When I miss work, I'm gonna be behind on my rent. So it'd be a whole different mental ball
Not
game when it comes.
necessarily, because let me tell you another advantage of perfect attendance. With perfect attendance, you have PTO built up. You have medical built up. Why? Because you don't skip school. You're not skipping work for no reason.
You ate
So
that.
if
You ate
I
that.
Well,
take off because I don't skip work, if I take off, I have tons. I have weeks that I can take off because I don't miss work because I had perfect attendance at school, which taught me not to skip school because I don't because my stomach hurt right now. I'm not gonna go to. They got a toilet at the job. If I'm working away from home, they got a toilet at the job. If I'm working at home, I got a toilet that I can use. Like right now, my toilet is right there.
Well, I
So I
definitely believe money is the motivator. Like my mom was a bad kid in school, skipping, doing everything else. My mama go to work with the flu. She don't want to miss a dollar. She don't want to miss a dime. So I do
right.
believe money is the motivator when it comes to missing work
Money is the
and missing
motive. But
school.
guess what? If I do want to fuck off a day because I'm burnt out and I need a mental health day, I got tons of PTO. I got tons of medical that I
Nah,
can
that's
take.
still going against your perfect attendance, my brother. You still need to go. PTO or not, that's still going against that perfect attendance.
At that point, I'm not worrying about perfect attendance because that was in high school. I'm worrying about now. I can take those days off because I'm able to manage my perfect attendance.
I'm just talking
Right.
shit.
Yeah, I ain't fucking up the body now because I got tons of medical, I got tons of PTO. So I ain't gotta do that now.
And I
So
want to go. I want to go back to something that Black was saying before about fearing, like he didn't do certain things out of fear of what would
mhm,
occur. I didn't fear anything when I was a kid, and I don't fear anything now. So my thing was, I just always wanted to do the right thing. I always wanted to be on the right side of being right.
right.
So
And
I
me, I'm the
always,
opposite.
yeah.
You know
So
me, I always wanted to be out the grain. I was always, so what kept me in line is the fear of what would happen if I got out of line. But if I got too out of line, because
Mm.
like you said, you didn't do what me and the other fellas did, even though you hung with us. I lived
So,
on the
but what
wild
were you
side.
saying to say that, Austin?
so all I'm saying is there are different things that motivates an individual to do or not to do.
Right.
And I didn't need fear to rule me because there was nothing that I feared.
Right.
Sometimes it is that person and their self-discipline that drives them.
Hmm.
So, or just seeing things around me where other people had done undisciplined things in the
Hmm.
condition that they're in now. So,
Right.
you know,
And that doesn't make my view wrong or your view wrong. It's just the
right.
way you were raised
That's
were different.
Well,
yeah,
we all have our own individual internal
Right.
moral
And that doesn't
compass
make nothing
anyway.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's just that the way I grew up, my parents were more hands-on. Mother
Right.
and father that I uh admired or whatever was in the household. And so everywhere I went, there was respectable um parenting going on in the house.
Mm.
And so if I didn't want to disappoint them, I did this. You know what I'm saying? And then where you grew up, where you was more just mom because you didn't like the step parent, you pulled off of whatever motivated you.
But I had
You
my
know what
mom
I'm
and
saying?
my
In your
dad, and
house.
my dad was, yeah. I don't know about no step parent. I ain't ever do that. I was a step
Yeah.
parent, but
So
I didn't.
so it's all different. So that
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
make
all different.
his bringing up or your bringing up right. Mine wrong. It is, it's just that we were brought up different.
Yeah.
And fear. I bet the ones who curse their parents out don't fear their parents.
Or respect.
Okay? So the reason I say, and you can go watch Godfather, the reason I say that I'd rather be feared because with fear comes respect.
Mm-hmm.
Today's time, with today's youth, it's hard to get respect if they don't fear you. Fuck
Right.
But
my
I feel like
mom.
a person that
Fuck
fear
my
you
dad.
and don't respect you could kill you. If that
Say
makes
what?
sense. I feel like a person, if they fear you and they do not respect you, they'll
Okay.
hurt you.
The key is you
But
said
love
was
is
a
an emotion
person.
that'll
You
stab you in
said
the
a
back too.
person. A person.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about kids here. So if
Oh,
your
gotcha.
kid
Okay,
love
okay.
you, you birth them, you take care of them, and they fear that you're gonna whoop their ass, or they fear that the fear is that they're gonna disappoint you. You get what I'm saying? That probably would steer them in a different direction compared to the ones who saying, I'll whoop my daddy's ass. I wish my daddy would say this and that. I'll punch him in his motherfucking face.
But I feel
You
like
get
I
what I'm
had a
saying?
lot
And
more
I
respect.
know
That's why when I went
people
to
who said they
Lakefield, I
don't
was
have
in
no
shell
respect
shock.
for them because they don't fear them. So even though I don't think you quite understand that statement. With fear comes respect. That also have to have some type of love in there too, because if they love you, they're not gonna kill you. Of course, it's very rare
Well,
that they'll
well,
kill you.
Machiavelli wrote that you rather be feared than love. A ruler rather be feared than love. So,
So fear, a respectful, a lovable fear goes a long way because
wow.
you fear. Okay, if you knew your mama would slap the shit out you, if you cursed her, you're not gonna curse around your mom. You're not gonna curse your mom out because I hear many of them say, "Boy, if I would have said that, my mama would have did this, would have did that." Guess what? That's fear of what mama would do.
Mm-hmm.
So we ain't talking about a random person on the street. We're talking in home raising your kids. So if you raising your kid where your kid feel like they can whoop your ass, that's where you see that child cursing the mama out. That's where you see that child beating that mama up or beating his daddy up. Man, fuck my daddy. He taking his dad money. Those are what you see they don't fear because that dad or that mom didn't put that fear in that daughter or that son's
Well, a
life.
lot of times what that is though, but for real, what a lot of times what that can be too is underlying trauma from something going on in a relationship. It may not be a lack of fear, but that trauma can manifest itself in so many different ways with your children that what may look like one thing is in actuality something else.
But in actuality, that child needs to know
That
that they
child
can't
may
whoop
be
your
sick.
ass.
If that child's sick, it ain't got nothing to do with nobody ass. If you got
I'm
certain
trying
trauma
to
with that
do,
child,
dude.
it ain't got
I
it ain't
feel
got
what you're
shit.
saying on that mental health, I
Right.
understand that.
And this, yeah.
But at the same note, with that mental health, also comes reality shit that's going on in your household without being diagnosed. If you feel like you can walk up there and slap the shit out your dad, there's something wrong with you.
Exactly.
And
And
number one,
if
you know,
something wrong
if
with
something
somebody,
wrong
what do
with
you think
you
that reality looks like though?
and you
They
don't care
yeah.
shit about your dad.
It's not that they don't care, but if they sense
I done
reality is
seen.
already fractured, it's not that they don't care, it's that they sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a heart condition. Don't mean I want to fucking die. It just mean I'm sick.
Yeah, but on the same note, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna take no child beating my ass because he's sick.
No, but it's
So
things you can. It's things you can do. It
I
ain't always about beating
instill the
nobody
fear
ass.
that if you talk to me crazy, if you raise your hand at me, it's a possibility that's gonna be the last time you raise your hand at anybody. Because
Man,
you
you
raise
gotta
your
see
hand at me, I'm gonna treat you just like I don't know you.
if you dealing with a
Instead
sick
of letting you
kid.
whoop my ass. Now I know people from my hometown that just jumped on their mom. They jumped on their dad because he
I
was a
had
wino. They done beat him up and they videoing it
see,
and all that shit. Man, look at my dad, man. This bitch ass nigga.
I had an advocacy case where this 18-year-old son was beating the mama's ass on the regular. It ain't that. And he had mental health issues, and that was a hard situation to
He
deal with.
didn't fear his mom.
He was sick, man. It
He
wasn't.
was
He
sick.
loved his mom, but he was sick.
He
I'm
loved
telling
her to
you,
death, but he didn't fear her.
it wasn't a
Because if
matter
he
of
feared her,
fear. Man,
Okay,
oh man.
okay. Let me go to
Now I do agree with DJ Black with this, and George, you have been on it with the mental health thing. No shade, but I'm not gonna hold you. Mental health or not, a pattern. If you stop it one good time,
Uh,
if she laid that nigga out one good time, even if he did have an episode where he'll kind of get out of line, I bet he'd think about it.
but here's the thing, y'all don't understand. He was in a psychotic state. When you psychotic,
dude,
you bite a fucking dog. Ain't no fear when you in a psychotic state. He was
dude.
fighting anybody.
He'd be in the house.
Uh,
My
He'd be in the
wife's
home.
mother,
He'd be in his
okay.
my
room.
wife's grandmother
But I get what you're saying,
raising
George.
2 kids with mental disabilities.
Mm-hmm,
One tried to get out of line. You
mm-hmm,
have to show him, no matter what he watched on TV. I don't know what made him jump at her, but
mm-hmm,
Anthony said, she showed him that she wasn't the one to play with.
mm-hmm.
And now, no matter what the hell he going through, he ain't finna say shit crazy to her because she had to show him that just because you a boy and you big, you ain't finna whoop my ass and I'm feeding you and taking care of you.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
you can
But
allow that
Now
shit to
it's
go
definitely
on
you can have an
because they
episode where
mental.
you talking and you probably knocking over stuff, but I bet you will not hit me.
right, and that's why you have a lot of instances where those kids need to be removed from the homes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
when
but until they're able to
that's
get
when you
moved
take
from
them
that
out the
home,
home. That's when you
you
take
got
them
to
out the
instill that
home.
fear. Because George, trust
It
and
ain't a
believe,
bad.
the new kids out here, your kids that's growing up, my kids, if they didn't automatically respect you and you didn't put that fear in them, ain't no telling what. Because a child, when he turns 16, 17, I get your height, your build, and your size. A lot of times that's when men want to try, because I went through that. I wanted to try my
Right,
folk. But I saw what could happen. And
right.
then it was like, hey, I didn't want that to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
all I'm saying is that somebody with a mental health issue is not gonna have that point of reference to be thinking about fear or nothing like that. They just
Yeah, I
in a
definitely
certain
agree with that
state.
too.
They not
I
gonna.
agree
They
with
not.
that too. But on the
They ain't
same
gonna be
note,
That's
thinking
why when
about
I
you
want
pray,
to
you
fearing.
have
thank God
that
for being in your right
already
mind, because there's a
instilled.
such thing as really not being in your right mind.
Right, you're not in your right
You're
mind. You
not in the
ain't
right mind.
thinking
But
it.
we talking about normal. We talking about normal people now. We can, you know, mental health can be the crutch for somebody robbing a bank, somebody shooting a neighbor. So we understand that. We
But
talking
it's not
about
a
a
crutch
normal
though.
human being that's
But
not.
it's not. It's never a crutch. Mental health is never a crutch.
Uh,
And
Never.
it's sometimes not treated the way it should. You throwing a
Exactly.
person that got mental health in jail, they bond out, get out whenever the time of the judge let them out. They back on the street doing it all over again. They're not getting institutionalized. They're not getting the
right.
medicine they
But
need.
we,
They're not getting. You're putting people in jail that have mental health issues. Been having
I agree.
health issues since high school. Been
Right.
showing this behavior since a child and in high school, and now just going through the cycle of life and not receiving treatment.
Okay, now, but for regular sake, we understand
Okay.
the mental health.
Right.
That's gonna always be the uh, the exception to the rule, if I
Okay.
could say.
Okay.
That's gonna always be the exception. I'm talking about a regular, normal human being such as myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I didn't have some type of fear, ain't no telling how I would have talked to my parents.
Right.
Ain't no telling how I talk to them now when I go around. When I go around my parents and my folks, grandparents, my aunts, those my peer that was older than me, I turned
Mhm.
16 again. I don't feel right saying shit around them when we
Right.
playing cards or whatever. I turned 16 again. It's yes, ma'am, yes, sir, because that's how I was raised. And then when
Right.
they say, "Oh, you ain't gotta say that," I still, I still have to catch myself because I'm grown now. I have to be like,
Right.
I'm grown. I can, but out of respect.
Right.
And I'll never raise my hand to them, not only from respect, because I know now, that I'm doing what I do in the gym. Now I could probably crush any of them. But that fear growing up turns into respect when you're grown, turns to more 100% respect when you're grown. But
Mm-hmm.
growing up, when I was 14, 15, and I got my size on me, I'm in the gym, I'm doing my thing, especially when I went to college. Had I not had fear, of the consequence of what can happen if I do jump on him and beat him up or whatever. Had I not had that fear, ain't no telling what I would have done. But that fear became respect. So if you guys are not putting that fear in those children when they're young, that I'm dad, no matter how old you get, however big you get, I'll still knock your ass out. A lot of times, those kids are jumping on the parents, and I see it all the time. I was a mentor for 7 years, and I've seen and heard what these kids would say about their parent when those guys when they bigger, or that girl when she's sick of her mom and she like, I slap the shit out of my mom, what's she gonna do? And then I have to talk them down to not doing that and try to do that. Honor thy mother and father, the days will be long on the face. I have to go in there and try to preach this to even try to build respect.
And
So
you
when
know
I
what?
say
So,
this
so
stuff,
to circle back, because I'm gonna have to hop off in a second. To circle
okay.
back to the main point about corporal punishment, the way.
Mm.
So, another thing I wanted to bring up, I hate Austin is gone. When it comes down to high school, no, we saying yes or no to paddling, to not paddling, to discipline, not discipline. This is my question. Forget corporal punishment. If a teenager, we ain't talking about mental health, regular teenager, every day in your class, chilling, you take the phone or you tell them to be quiet or you say, hey, you disrupt them, and they get up and they square up with you, are you fighting?
Yes.
No, George, you can't do that.
Man, if you a
That's
grown
wrong.
ass pink,
You're
if you
supposed to
bigger than
reason
me,
with that kid. You're supposed to use your
now
walkie-talkie.
you a regular kid.
George,
I'm
you
gonna
No, no,
use
just
no.
that. I'm gonna
said
use
earlier
that.
you
I'm
You're
gonna
ain't
use
supposed
that.
to
grown.
use
Look,
walkie-talkie
look,
because you
do
don't know
this for
what's
real.
going on with that child.
Let me
You're supposed to
understand
use your
something.
walkie-talkie. You're supposed to let
No.
them tear your room up, punch you in your face, and you're supposed to sit there because that's what you was taught as a
And
No.
teacher.
let it
You
burn
don't know what
This
out.
what
that
I'm gonna
Burn it
child's
do.
going
out.
through.
This
And
what
let
I'm.
it
If
burn.
I
And
know
George
ain't. If
was
I
the
know ain't
first
nothing
person to
wrong.
say yes. That's what was crazy.
If I if I know
The
ain't
first
nothing
one to
wrong.
say don't do shit, but the first
Was the
one to
first
say
person
he'll
to say
fight.
yeah.
If I know ain't nothing wrong with you and you bigger than me, you gonna square with me. I don't care how once your
But
ass hit
just
over
because you don't know
15.
nothing wrong, that don't mean that they're not
No,
struggling
this different.
mentally.
Hey, no. If I know you just being an asshole, then it's different. If
We talking
you
about
going
regular
through
kids.
something, just one of these regular motherfuckers out here, yeah, if I'm squaring up,
AJ, you
it
squaring
better
up?
be something wrong with you.
I'm probably squaring up.
Yeah, we squaring up. We South Memphis, we gonna square up. If ain't nothing wrong with you, it's on.
And I'm gonna need
Yeah.
you to make that make sense for me, please.
AJ talking about problem. AJ already dropped the girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
man.
already
Hey,
got one
but
on the way.
for that person to square up with you, George, he had to be going through something in his life.
I don't fuck his life at that point. Now I'm gonna square up for real. I mean, that
And the
just this is
mama
how it
too.
is.
Come on.
In the mama too. AJ said in
Go
the
get
mama
your
too.
mom. Go
Go get
get your
your
mom.
mama. Your auntie, your sister, anybody can get
So
it.
Man.
I say grade school, they need some type of fear. Well, we all established that starts at home. But I also try to give the leniency on the single mothers because there's so many single
We
mothers out
gotta
there.
ask Austin that question when he get back. That is a legit question. I need to answer from everybody. Are you
And
squaring
what was the
up?
question?
If we ain't talking about corporal punishment being a teacher, we ain't talking about corporal punishment paddling. If your student stand up and he like, let's go, like beat this nigga, we finna like he
Oh
in your
hell
face.
no.
I'll answer that for Austin. I'll
Oh
answer that for
hell no.
him.
What'd he
Don't
say?
nobody know Austin the way I know Austin. He finna borderline kill the kid, and the kid will never think about touching him again. So I
Okay,
answer
we should
that
have
for
known
him.
the answer her from the stepdad situation.
He's gonna do that. Okay. And I'm sure everybody on the panel, if there's nothing wrong with them, and I can give a shit if something wrong with me personally. Because at the end of the day, I got to defend myself. Like Austin said last week, I got a family to come home too. So you ain't gonna borderline kill me, and then I'm head of the household. So when I look like getting my ass whooped in the street by a student, then I come home and trying to run shit around the house.
We
That
ain't
ain't
say we
happening.
gonna take no ass whooping. We just said that. We just
Well,
gonna
even if
we
I
ain't gonna
fight and I come
I
home, let's
mean, but
just say
come
he bust
on.
my lip or something, that still could make that
Oh man.
person look at you sometimes. So my thing is that ain't happening.
But I'm
But
saying if ain't nothing wrong with you, be squaring up for real. But if something wrong
middle
with you,
school,
man, just
elementary,
well, it
grade
depends on what
school
age
to
now. You
maybe
got to.
seventh
I ain't,
Middle
grade, I
school too.
feel
That's a
like
big 50-year-old. That's a big
yeah,
50-year-old.
I ain't finna smack no 6-year-old in the mouth. But I'm
No,
saying if you
I
15,
said 16,
16,
but yeah, I feel that. Yeah, no,
yeah, if
yeah,
you
no.
15 to 16 years old and you talking about squaring up and talking about hurting somebody, you talking about hurting me and taking me
they got
out of
mental
my
issues
family.
though. I mean, you don't know what's going on with them,
Man,
But
if
George.
I don't know,
there was a
then I got to
50-year-old
assume
that
that he
killed
there
his
to hurt me.
teacher,
Right.
followed his
But you
teacher
don't
to the
know,
bathroom
George.
and
They could
stabbed her
be
to death.
going through something.
Middle school is a fearful situation too.
Right. You deal with all the testosterone. I can't play around like that. I'm not gonna hurt them, but I'm gonna defend myself.
I'm gonna hurt you. I'm finna go out with a bang. They're gonna take my job and my license anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can't
hurt
square
you.
off sick or not sick. I'm sorry. I ain't fucked up about it.
Well, I know how to pin
Because
somebody
there's
down
so
without
many
hurting them,
people
so
getting
ain't
checked now
nobody
that's not
got to hear
sick.
hit.
So I don't trust that sick shit unless you bamming your head and doing some old crazy ass shit.
But
I
if you a teacher, you gonna know your kid's diagnosis. I mean, you gonna know all that
Hmm.
anyway. You
Yeah.
gonna know who
Yeah.
got what and who
so
dealing with stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, you gonna know
but
they
on
day
the
one. I'm
corporal
telling you.
punishment, I feel like the parents should be notified when they're in
Right.
grade school. Um, Notify and say, do you want to come pick him up? Or do you want him to get these 3 licks and send him back to class? And that's basically, I feel like the parents should make that decision.
Right.
Middle school, I'm gonna say similar. High school, you should have a choice whether you're gonna take
Shit.
the paddling or you're gonna uh, get suspended for 3 days.
Right.
And after
Right.
the third suspension, that's when they get rid of you indefinite. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
Right.
you
You
have to.
know.
So
And if ain't nothing
that's the
wrong
way
with
I
you and
feel. I don't say
right.
take it completely out because I agree with what AJ said earlier. We do need something in place to put fear in the kid's heart, and that's why I say that should start at a grade level
Right.
because after high school they feel like you ain't finna take me for the so on a grade school level I feel like a discipline a source of discipline should be implemented and
Right.
because that's preparing them for junior high and high school.
Yeah. But
So I
if we do it
definitely
be
agree with that
right.
threat of
Right.
getting a paddle put on that butt fire in grade school, but I feel like it
Right.
should be okayed or agreed on by it should be verified by the parent.
But
But
who's gonna handle the regulation of it? Because if we do allow it, you gonna have that one motherfucker instead of just using the paddle, using batons and stun guns and
no, no,
shit
no,
on
no,
the
no, because they
kids.
have to call you. Okay,
Oh, then
there's
bitch, you going to
levels.
But you still,
jail.
you gonna have see that's my only
They
thing
have
is
to go
we
to the
got
office.
who's doing the whooping at that point.
Yeah, no, it's only by the principal. It's not. It's not with the teacher. I
We're
never
gonna have
agree
to do
for the
some
teacher.
real different
Yeah,
It
background
cause
has
no
to
checks
come
now.
into
shade.
the office.
If it's just the principal, that's a lot of ass whoopings for one person to do.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
High
but
schools
guess
now
what? If
are
they fear
12,
that
not
principal,
1,200. It's a lot of
hey,
students though.
hey, hey. One time I had a principal who had a assistant principal, and when we was all fighting, he was the principal to do his as many ass with as he could, and he'll take a break, and the assistant principal. But at the end of the day, if it get escalated where it goes to the principal, I feel like the parent should, it's grade school, the parent should be notified. Hey, he did this. He got caught cutting class. He got caught acting up.
Mhm.
He had a fight with another student. He took another student's lunch, and we have him in the office. We have a choice. You can come pick him up, or he can get a
Right.
pass. So
Well,
we can create all kind of scenarios. There's a lot of asses, the whoop,
yeah.
this and that. But once it get escalated to the principal, I feel like the parent should be notified. If they
Right.
can't get in touch with the parent to say yay or nay, the kid sits into the office for the rest of the day, and then he goes home and can't return to school until he returns with a parent.
Now, if I was a
That's what I
principal,
feel like
all
needs
my
to go.
teachers getting boards. I'm not finna be whooping ass all day. I didn't get my
Right.
master's degree for this. Yeah, y'all, I'm
Right.
finna pass. Y'all finna get some boards in this
Because
classroom.
we got a bad teacher shortage right now. We really
Yeah,
do.
that's why it goes to the principal. It
Yeah,
don't.
and
I
I
don't
say
think
this.
discipline need to be done by the teachers as far as
No,
parents.
no.
Now, putting them in the back of the room with a dunce hat on to make them embarrassed while they work, that's one thing.
I
And
think that's
that's
elementary.
done
I
on
don't
that
think high
level.
school
But
that's
when it
gonna
comes
work.
to
It's kids
paddling,
that will walk out your class and don't give a damn how you feel. You could be talking, hollering, screaming. I done seen them go ahead and walk on out of here.
right, they
Right.
walk on out, but guess what? You can't come back without your parent. And if they don't fear their parent or don't respect their
You
parent,
gonna fail.
then
Yeah.
you see what I'm
But
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
You
I
gonna
say
fail
this.
the
it's
class.
plenty of ways we
I
can look at it.
yeah. I
But
say this
cutting
because
down
I say
away,
right.
corporate punishment to me, and I don't even know. I don't think they have it at the school that my kids
No,
go
they
to,
really don't.
especially the little boy. But corporate punishment to me, grade school, call a parent, parents say yay or nay. High school, they have a choice: be suspended for 3 days or take a paddling. I
Right.
don't feel like in high school, like sophomores on up, need to be getting okay by the parent. I feel like they
Right.
should be able to make that choice, get suspended in, and then we deal with it. They can
Right.
call us and say, "Hey, I got a choice," you know. But if they need that education, this is going to determine whether you go to college or your GPA to get accepted into a good school. And you want to mess that up by being suspended when you can just fuck up, take these 3 licks, and go on about your business, go back to class. You know
Right.
that's up to you. But grade school, call a parent, get verification, do what you do. If they
Right.
choose not to, or the parent can't be reached, parent need to bring them to school the next day. When
Right.
parents get tired of having to bring their kid to school the next day, some changes will take place at home if they're not disciplining them at home. That's how I
Right.
feel about that.
This my last take on this. How I feel. I feel also when your upbringing is a certain way, you will have you will bring your child up in a certain way. Um, I was getting my ass whooped in school. Her daddy was getting his ass whooped in school. My child don't need to get her ass whooped in school because she gonna be getting her ass whooped at home. So I feel like there's no need for the whoopers in the seventh, first, fifth, sixth. You ain't gotta have a choice when you're in high school. You're gonna be getting your ass whooped at home and you're gonna know how to act because your parents was getting their ass whooped at school, getting their ass whooped at home, getting their ass whooped at church. We already know what's T. We already know, yeah. So I feel like when you have a certain upbringing, your upbringing and principles change to a certain degree, but you know you ain't a kid raising a
Did
kid.
it work?
Yes, absolutely.
But they say ass whoopings don't work.
I don't know. I can't agree. I can't agree. And I didn't get many
Often them
whoopings.
try to say ass
I didn't
whoopings
get
don't work.
and I didn't get many whoopings. I wasn't a big kid. I wasn't like some kids. I was getting whooped with extension cords. I'd be like, oh my God. I've never dealt with none of that. I've never been whooping no extension cord. I ain't never had to get my ass whooped with no belt,
But
shoes,
let
and
me
stuff
ask you
like
this.
that. I've gotten a few whoopings in my lifetime, and all I needed was a little hollering, and I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. Like I was a
Well,
very
George
good
and them
kid.
say ass whoopings don't help. So I'm gonna ask you: did getting an ass whooping and did the threat of going to the office, getting a paddling, did that help you alter your mental thinking on what you were gonna do,
Yeah,
Yes, it
maybe take
did.
a check
how you were
second
gonna
look.
behave?
What
Hmm.
you say, AJ? I'm sorry.
It made me take a second look and made me think twice about
Yeah.
Yeah.
doing it.
So we have people that actually come on here and say and got podcasts out there that say ass whoopings that we got grown up didn't do nothing but fuck us up mentally. It traumatized us. Okay, that's what they're saying now. But these same people who saying this got friends that didn't get disciplined that's in jail. Got friends that didn't get
Yeah.
disciplined or people they grew up with that didn't get their ass whooped that's dead. So I'm a firm believer in discipline. We
But
want to
there's also a
remove
certain
discipline
there's also
100%,
so much
and
farther
y'all
that I
want to
want you to
talk and
take it.
time out and do all this.
See, but I believe in all that too because like I was explaining to y'all, I got diagnosed by a doctor with ADD, attention deficit disorder. I love to talk. I love to be silly. I wasn't bad, but I like to talk. I was easily distracted. You talking again? Get up here. You finna get some licks. It'd be like, damn, I'm just talking. So
Yeah, but it's the
it'd be
time
like
to do
certain
that.
stuff.
I probably would have been
I
whooping
understand.
your
No,
ass too, because you don't have to
I
learn.
definitely understand that, and I would get a whipping for it at home. I would get
Yeah,
chastised for it at home.
it's the time
But
for that.
as my
It's time for you to
teacher,
shut up right now.
and you realize, okay, this kid talks a fucking lot. I'm not finna whoop you every day because you a talker. I'm not finna spank you every day, paddle you every
You
day
gonna,
because
I'm
you're
gonna have to
talking in
figure out
class.
something to make you know to shut the fuck up.
Right.
So
There we go. That's
if
what I
I'm
was
gonna get
getting
you to
at.
ball your fists up, and but first I'm gonna be giving you little signs like shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. You doing all that talking? Shut the fuck up. So after my fourth shut the fuck up, I gotta do something else. I'm gonna say, okay, you still talking? Come here. Go sit in that corner. That way you staring at the corner where you can't talk to no damn body. I'll come up with something to stop
Yes.
all
Or
that
I had
goddamn
to miss
talking in my class.
recess, and I didn't want to miss recess. You had to stay in the class where everybody go outside. You looking out the window where everybody playing.
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I say, I'm not saying ass whooping for everything. Ass whooping. But when you go through the extreme and it's not minor anymore, and you saying fuck me, I got to show you, it's time for me to whoop you. You saying fuck me, so I'm gonna beat you. So yeah, you're talking. I would probably put you in the office. I mean, put you in the corner, or like you say, let everybody else go and have fun, and you sit in the room because you have to learn that it's a time and place for all that goddamn talking you like to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not in class while I'm trying to teach because you're gonna distract somebody else and they're gonna miss it, and then you already ain't worth the damn and probably gonna fail the test anyway. I don't need nobody else failing my class because then they're gonna look at me at the end of the year on how many of my students passed. And if everybody failing because you up in there being a class clown and running your goddamn mouth, you're not gonna make me look bad. So I would have came up with something to make you shut the fuck up. But whipping don't go there. That's the last resort. When we say sit
Yeah.
down and then you still up doing the Dougie in the class and I told you to sit down. You gonna go to the office now. Because we got end of semester test, and you up in here dugging and doing all your dugging, and the other kids laughing and distracted, and I'm in there trying to teach. So you're gonna get out my class, and once you get kicked out the class, you got to go to the office. When you go to the office, you have a choice: take this paddling, or we call your parent, and your parent bring you back the next day. So yeah, I feel you. So that's my thought on it. We got your thought. And AJ, you've been kind of silent
Yeah.
on this thing. We
I've
understand
been
that
in
you believe in
I've been in
discipline.
agreement though. I'm not indifferent to what y'all saying.
No, okay.
Yeah,
So
I think
give us
you and
your
AJ
final
on the
thought
same
on
point.
corporal
Y'all been having the
punishment.
same point.
Should it be implemented more today in the schools, and is it helpful? We'll let you close it out. But what's the pros and cons? Since you went, my my instructors used to do me. I used to sit back and let everybody else talk through the whole shit. And then when it's over, they'll say, okay, why don't you tell us the pros and cons or what you learned? I have to sum everything up because I was hiding and didn't raise my hand. So go ahead and say the pros and cons real quick on the corporate punishment thing. And should it be implemented more today because the youth are totally out of control? Should it be implemented today because they kicking the ass? That's why it's the shortest
I think
teachers.
what we all agreed that something needs to be done. We all agreed that it's some type of punishment needs to happen. We all agreed on that. And so as far as corporal punishment goes, the pro was it was a deterrent. It was a deterrent. And the con was uh some kids it didn't work for. I mean, it didn't work for some kids, but you had
What about the
as with
majority?
anything, but the majority it worked for. It was a deterrent
Okay.
for us. I know it was a deterrent for me. You know, it made me think twice before I did it or thought about doing it. You know,
Okay. And should it be implemented more in the schools today? Would you say it should be brought back a little bit.
In some capacity, as
And do
long
you
as the
think it'll
parents
actually
are
help with
involved.
these struggling teachers that's getting their ass whooped?
But I also see that our teachers that we had that they used to give us a hug, they saw that when we needed a hug, gave us a hug. Or saw that, they cared about what we had going on at home, or if we needed some socks, or we need our hair braided. We don't have those kind of teachers out there
And this
now.
is why AJ gotta bring it home every time. She gonna drop a gem before we go every
Hey,
single time.
hey,
Cause I had a teacher braid my hair. My aunt did my hair, and I hated. I went to school. I was crying. I put a hoodie on. My teacher took me to the back and rebraided my hair. I was in
Yeah,
third grade. Yeah, you don't have that no more.
no, we don't. We don't have those things like that no more. So I can see, pros and cons of it, because you don't want
Cause you have to
these
fully
teachers.
care. You have to
Yeah, you
fully
got to
care.
fully
Not just
care to
about
be
whooping
whooping
ass. You have to
somebody
fully,
ass.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
have to
can't be
that's
fully
just
why I
whooping
say
care.
it
my
has to
ass
go to
because
the
it make
principal.
you feel good. You can't whoop my ass because it's a release and you feeling good for whooping my ass. You getting off on whooping my ass. No, you got to really give a fuck about me and how I'm gonna turn out to be whooping my ass.
Well, to be honest with you, they ain't really got to give a fuck about you to whoop your to send you to the office. I just feel like
But now I agree with
because
AJ. That was really deep though, because that's how
this
teachers
real
was
deep,
back in the day. They really did care
they
about your
care, right?
upbringing. It was some
But
teachers
but
that went to
at the
your church programs. You was in a play or anything. They came to see you. My elementary teacher went to my sister's wedding because she loved
My
our
teacher
upbringing.
took me home. I spent the
Yeah.
night with my teachers.
and now when they
So
spend a night with you trying to rape you and
right,
kidnap
you
you
got
and get your organs.
molestation and shit going on,
Yeah, it's
So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's more
times
shit going
times
on.
have definitely changed. So right now, all you can ask for is fairness, and
Yeah.
they don't have to like you or care about you in a personal sense to do right by you, and that's all that you want. So that's why I say it needs to go to the office, and then they say, well, this is what happened, and then you contact the parent, and if you know your child, you know what your child is capable of, and at that time you make that decision. But yeah, the parent, the teachers are not the teachers of old. A lot of them not. There's still a few out there, even some that's our ages that grew up with the values. Like my girl was coming home, the wife coming home yesterday, and she picked up a child and took the child home. And I don't even stop for people on the side of the road. I don't give a damn what the hell going. I can see somebody fixing a flat, and I just don't stop. But she saw this girl walking home, and and it was hot yesterday. And so I was wondering why it took her an extra 10, 15 minutes, to come home. And she ended up picking up about taking them home. And she was like, the lady said her mom was having dialysis. She got off, she ended up having to leave the school early. And it was going to take her like 30 minutes to walk home. So the wife gave her a ride home. The old me would have said, let that person walk, what I'm saying? That ain't your responsibility. But she threw in the dialysis shit to try to make me, be a little empathetic per se. But yeah, I'm saying that to say, yeah, people aren't what they used to be, because back in the day, I see somebody fixing a flat, I'm quick to stop and see what I can do. Let me take you here. Somebody run out of gas. Come on, let's go get a gas tank. A gas can. Let's go fill it up. But now I see that shit and I'm like, shit, because you never know, get to the thing, pull a gun out on you, take your car. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying
It
it.
could be a setup. Mhm.
Yeah, it's not the same. So yeah, it's not the same. So I do get what she said. She brought it home pretty good. So she with it. But it just that's why I say it has to go to the principal, and it has to be in his office, and the principal need to have cameras if they're gonna be doing the paddling or corporal punishment thing. So on that note, we about to shut it down and get out, what I'm saying? Speak on it podcast, 2K 2025, you know what I'm saying? We doing what it do. Shout out to Austin, shout out to Carlos, he chimed in tonight. Shout out to everybody that watched. Shout out to Anthony, Austin, George.
Appreciate you.
That's our original team. And like I say, we said that, and none of us are opposed to bringing it back. It just need to be brought back with, with stipulations. It just can't be anybody whooping you on your goddamn child. I feel like teachers shouldn't do it. Should be a principal, and they need to notify the parent before it happens in grade school. High school, they choose whether they want to take a paddling or get suspension. So that's my take. But on that note, we out. Next week we're gonna come with some more stuff. We're probably gonna dip into more either relationships or situationships next week. So this was one where we talked off the grid, so everything won't be tied up on relationships and all that. So I don't know if we're gonna tackle interracial dating, why a lot of men are jumping the ship, quick to marry women of other races. Or we may tackle what AJ and a lot of them hate to talk about, women, period.
The body count.
Your body count versus his body count. Okay?
We can go and have that conversation.
There
We
is
need to go and have it.
We do not
okay,
care
there
out
is
the
a
damn
difference.
way, please.
And so when we come on that, AJ, I need you to take a nap before you come on here. Because the last
I'm
two
taking a
nights,
nap
your ass
doing
been
the
sleeping
show.
in a motherfucker
I know, right?
and bullshit. And you been
I ain't been feeling
and really
good,
you
but
doing
I've
my
been
girl
showing
Anthony
up.
bad. You doing
That's
Anthony
all
I
that
bad
haven't.
because
matters.
you ain't
You
throwing
been
that out
showing up
there.
and dropping
I
Battle
dimes
these
at
haven't
the
been
last
end.
2
feeling
weeks
good, but
concept.
I've been showing up though. I've been
You
showing
show
up. I
up, but
haven't been
goddamn
feeling
it, you
good.
sleep.
And she dropping
I
You
dimes
know.
know,
at and she
I
dropping
you
do.
ain't
I
dimes
do
working.
at the
You
though,
ain't
end.
y'all.
working.
I ain't gonna lie. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
Okay, well,
I'm taking a nap
on
next
Tuesday
time.
night, you tell everybody
I,
on Tuesday night in your circle if you need me, because I'm gonna get that respect. You need me, put them on speaker, and I'll tell them
mhm.
your ass need to lay down
Yeah.
early
No,
Tuesday
no,
night, or that you take a nap around 1 or 2 o'clock, maybe 4. Tell them to wake you
when.
up at 6. Brush your teeth, wash your face, get you something to eat, drink a
Mm-hmm.
little something, a Red Bull or whatever. Pop your
Mm-hmm.
2B12.
I hate to say.
Come on here
Mm-hmm.
ready to show your ass. So we'll probably go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and tackle, and we're gonna explain to you guys the difference in male body count and a female body count,
Oh,
and why
My
yeah.
do
God,
some
today.
males find it important. So if you guys want to do your research and come back and try to say whatever, you guys have any videos on this one because y'all know ahead of time. Send me the YouTube, copy the link, send it to my page, and I'll play your videos to try to prove your point.
Okay, big.
But that's a topic that I feel like really a lot, especially the younger girls, need to know. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
send you guys the flyer early, like probably tomorrow or late tonight, so you guys can start sending it to them, inboxing them, because they really need to know this, especially the 25s and unders. We want to save some people because a lot of you all went out there and did your thing, and then we say, well, if you had to do it all again, I wouldn't have done it that way. So
No,
also have that mindset also.
because
We're
that's what
not
I was
saying
gonna
that
say.
you're the worst
You ain't gonna
person.
shame me about my body count
We're
because I
not
did
gonna
what I
shame
did.
you
I done
about it,
what
but
I
on the
done.
same note,
But by the
if deep
same
down, if you
token,
are ashamed, it's okay.
no, I'm not
Because
though.
we learn from our actions. We're not gonna say mistakes because it's a mistake when you don't learn nothing from it. And like I tell people, like I got a partner now who probably ain't have a two to three bodies. I tell him all the time, if I had a chance to do it all again, I'll probably be like him. You know what I'm saying? But don't be ashamed because it was a learning experience. But on the same note, if you can save somebody or
Don't be ashamed to be
spread,
a virgin.
if you can spread that knowledge to a younger generation that's out here free living. Because have you
I'm
guys
gonna say this
seen
before I go, cause my mic acting
you
up
guys
and I
seen the
can't hear y'all.
HIV
I
rate?
don't know if y'all can even hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you,
Yeah.
baby.
Okay, I can see your
Have you
background.
guys
I can't
seen
hear
the
you.
HIV rate today?
Among youngsters, yeah.
Okay. Now, what you were saying, Anthony, before you go? Ooh, she disappeared on us.
Can y'all hear me now? I can hear you.
Yeah. We can hear you.
Okay. AJ, come on next week. I got your back. We ain't gonna deal with none of that. We on whole shame over here. We don't do none of that. We body counts, nobody counts. Long we on whole shame over here, baby. We on slut shame. We don't do none of that. What
Hey,
you
Well,
do
it
is
is
what you
what
do.
it
How
is.
you do
I'm
is how you
But
telling you,
do
hey,
it.
it was a phase.
also research today the
Exactly was.
HIV rate and the AIDS rate in your state.
Okay, we're gonna say it for the pod. Say it for the pod. Say it for the pod. Y'all have a good night. Speak on the
Okay.
podcast 2025. I'm out.
Peace.
And on that note, we out. Speak on that podcast 2K2025. Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight. And we about to get out of here. Thanks for the panel for coming on. It's going to get deep next week. We're going to be talking about body counts. Alrighty. So tune in, check it out, and let us know what you think about it. But on that note, Speak on It Podcast 2K25. I'm the host, DJ Black, and we are definitely out of here. So tune in next week, man. It's been a blast. It's getting hot in the summer. Body counts next week, man. So y'all tune in, check it out. And on that note, I say peace.
What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then see, that complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we were even talking. Why doesn't my father? Is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got.
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father.
Men were going to jail killing each other. And then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was a run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. You know, at one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, you know, I know, you know, I mean, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So you
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. You know, it means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. You know, that's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, you know, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, you know. So there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, you know, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids, and I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband.